Sandy, are you there? Okay, gotcha. It is hot outside in downtown Phoenix, but it's going to be downright sizzling on the inside of the Footprint Center, the home of the Arizona Rattlers, the Snake Pit, as we get you set for tonight's big matchup in the final regular season week of IFL action for 2023. Welcome into Phoenix, everybody. Welcome into the Snake Pit, where the Arizona Rattlers get set to take on the Northern Arizona Wranglers. Again, the final regular season week, and then the playoffs begin next week. And this is a big one. The Rattlers, the hottest team in the IFL with 7 straight victories, get set to take on the upset-minded Northern Arizona Wranglers. Case in point on their upsets, well, they knocked the Rattlers, the heavily favored Rattlers last year, knocked them off in the championship game in the Western Conference. The Wranglers went on to win the IFL championship after getting a lot of momentum from that big victory. Can they do it again tonight? The Rattlers are going to do everything they can to stop them, but Dale Hellestray, my broadcast partner, I'm Floyd Simmons, and Dale, this Rattlers team, I think, ready for the Wranglers on this night.
Oh, I believe they're ready. I saw them talk to Coach Guy before the game. They are jacked up. They're excited. They're ready to go. They don't want to let home field advantage throughout the playoffs slip away tonight. Expect a great effort from them.
Unquestionably, down on the field, the pageantry that is the start of an Arizona Rattlers game, it's underway, and they're going to toss the coin here in just a moment as well. While all of that activity takes place, I had a chance a few moments ago to talk to the head coach, Kevin Guy, about this one, about this big matchup. Let's check in on that conversation earlier with Coach Guy.
Your team is playing for home field advantage throughout the playoffs and playing a tough team to do it. What kind of mentality are the Rattlers going into this one with tonight?
Momentum. We want momentum going into the playoffs. We had a great week of preparation coming out of the bye week. We got our batteries recharged. We should be ready to go.
Yeah, okay, talk about that bye week for a second and how important maybe that is coming at this point of the season.
Well, you know, it can work a lot of different ways for you. Let's hope that it works the way we want it to. But, you know, it gave our players a chance to get healed up, recharge the batteries, and you know, like I said, we had a great week this week.
If you're going to win a championship, they tell you got to have great defense. Coach, where is your defense right now as you get ready for the playoffs next week?
Hopefully we're starting to peak at the right time. You know, we've won 7 in a row, and a lot of that's been because our offense has kept the foot on the gas pedal, and our defense has been coming up with some big stops. So, you know, it's about production, and we just got to keep playing. And you know, this is a big game tonight. So we want home field advantage. They're trying to move up in the seeds. You know, there can be a lot of movement tonight, so we need to make sure we take care of business.
All right, Coach Guy, I hear that if the Rattlers win this game tonight, that'll be victory number 250 in what has been for you an illustrious career. Are you thinking about that going into this one?
Not at all. I'm more, you know, when I sit around and think about that stuff, I'm more focused on the 80 that I lost. You know, we probably should have won about 80% of those games. You know, all through the years, the teams that I've coached has always been competitive and played for 60 minutes. But there's a lot of people to thank around here, starting with ownership, down to our assistant coaches, and of course the players has got to get it done on the field, our support staff, front office. You know, everybody deserves the credit. So it's really not about me. I don't, you know, 250, okay, I got another 10, 15 years in me. We'll talk about that down the road. But right now, I just want to beat Naz.
All right, Coach, we can't wait for this one. We're excited. Good luck to you.
Yeah, thank you.
That's Coach Kevin Guy. He's the guy that leads this team. He's not just the head coach, he's also the team president of the most successful professional sports organization in Arizona history with 6 championships, Dale Hellestray, and a team that, in my opinion, is built well to make a run at another one.
Well, what's been really incredible this year, I've seen so many Rattler teams get off to fast starts and then cruise to the finish line, and something happened. Face adversity late in the season. This team got hit in the mouth early, and it's been fun to watch them deal with the adversity, take it on, and now really master it. Let's make sure that we take care of business tonight. You get on a long winning streak, sometimes little things get away from you. You want to make sure that you're buttoned up route running wise, steps wise, offensive line, all those things. You need to take care of business tonight.
7 straight wins to get us to this point, the final game of the regular season for the Rattlers. And down on the field, we're just about ready for the national
Here to perform
anthem.
our national anthem. Please welcome Candace Devine.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so bright
Well, once again, a wonderful job on the national anthem tonight here at the Footprint Center. Downtown Phoenix is where we bring you these games. The home of the Arizona Rattlers, Floyd Simmons, Dale Hellerstray. And you heard Coach talking about what it takes organizationally, top to bottom, to get it done. He gives a lot of credit where credit is due. He's assembled a great assistant coaching staff, the roster itself, and those are the guys that have to execute, Dale. Those are the guys that have to go out there and get it done tonight. And this roster includes some new additions. Harold Love at the nose tackle spot has been a monster. And Connor Taylor at the linebacker. Two guys that they've added to a defense that was already pretty stout to begin with.
Well, you got to remember now, some of these guys are replacing guys that replaced guys at the beginning of the season. That's what I'm talking about, overcoming adversity early in the year. You find out a lot about yourselves as a football team when you're hit in the mouth early. It's like, I'm not sure which boxer said it. I think it might have been Mike Tyson. Everybody's got a plan. So you get hit in the mouth.
Yeah.
And then everybody's plan can go right. So Rattlers have done a fantastic job overcoming the adversity.
That was definitely a Tysonism, for sure. And down on the field, it is time for the opening coin toss. The referee is Austin Wright. We're going to let him take over.
Gentlemen, my name is Austin Wright. I'll be your referee. This is Jake Shoemate. He'll be your umpire today. Northern Arizona, you're the visitors. Will be your call. This is tails. This is heads. Tails, heads. What is your call? Tails. Tails is the call. Arizona has won the toss, elected to defer. Will kick off to Northern Arizona.
So we get to see the Wranglers offense first, but before that happens, let's introduce you to our broadcast partner, numero tres, down there on the field, and she is by no means number 3 in our books. Sandy Charles joining us. Hi, Sandy.
Hey, Floyd, thank you. It is different energy down here, and like you mentioned, a win tonight would be 250th for Coach Guy. Now, I asked him, I said, what has made you so successful? First, he said the support of his family, his wife, Kathy, his kids, all of the sacrifices they've made. And like you mentioned, of course, the organization, and he told me the same, starts at the top, and then his coaching staff, and of course, the talent. And he said he could go another 100 wins. He could do this 5, 20, 30 years. But he said as long as he's bringing something positive to this organization, that's what drives him. So, Floyd, they could get that W tonight.
250 wins. There's a bunch of ways you can look at that, Floyd. Number one, Kevin's old. He's been around a long time. Chance to win a lot of games.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's done a tremendous job coaching this football team, this franchise. But it starts at the top, and if your ownership does not give you an opportunity, signing players, facilities, taking care of guys, all that, if ownership's not good, you really don't have a chance as a head coach. And I think Kevin Guy be the first person to point to Ron Schertz, the owner, and said, without him, I'm not where I am today.
Yeah, Ron gives Kevin the ammunition, the arsenal, right, to get it done out there. And you saw a shot a moment ago as you once again look at Kevin Guy. He's in a great frame of mind coming into this. I really loved his energy talking to him before the game and where he's at. But a moment ago, the guy in the background there, we got a shot at Jeff Jarnigan, who works with the linemen on this team. Jeff is the general manager of this group as well, and he also handles special teams, and he was getting his guys ready for this opening kickoff a moment ago. And without guys like Jeff Jarnigan, I guarantee you 250 would be a lot harder to come by. Meanwhile, we're ready to go. And Shane McInerney will get his foot into it. This one is fielded midway into the end zone. And that is a big tackle made in spite of the block being put on Devontae Merriweather. He came up and somehow got a shoulder into the return man. That is Ryan Wisniewski who is bringing it back. And that's a pretty impressive opening tackle made by Devontae Merriweather in special teams. Coach called him out during our conference call yesterday about how Devontae he's always there, and he's not just a great defender, but he also contributes so big on special teams for this squad.
He has one of those things you can't coach. He has a nose for the football. Where the football is, you'll see Merriweather.
Here comes the first pass attempt of the game, and that's going to be a bit of an overthrow. Nick Watson, the quarterback, unable to connect after the pump fake as we take a look at the starting defense for the Arizona Rattlers in this one tonight. And you're going to want to pay special attention to a couple of those veterans like Dylan Winfrey, who comes up there first on your screen, and Devontae Merriweather. These stalwarts both have been IFL Defensive Players of the Year in this league. And then pay attention to Harold Love as well, right in the middle of that defense. He just always seems to get it done. Harold was the special teams player of the week 2 weeks ago in the IFL.
Able to block some field goals and extra points.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Here comes pressure on the quarterback. The release and the catch made. And bringing it in over the middle is Sheldon Augustine. Augustine at 5'10", 180, able to haul it in, and he is able as well to get 5 yards on the catch. It'll be 3rd down and 5 for the Wrangler offense.
Again, a lot of emotion with this Rattler team, and it's always fascinating to me, having played on dominant football teams, the Dallas Cowboys. Can you get emotionally ready for this game when you know the playoffs start next week? And that's when the real season starts if you're a successful franchise.
So 3rd down play coming up. Here is Nick Watson's delivery, and a catch made going halfway over the wall just past midfield for the Wrangler first down. That was a great delivery, 15 yards on the pass and catch. And the guy who brought it in on the near side of the field is Glenn Gibbons Jr. Look for that name all night long tonight in the passing game for the Wranglers.
Really nice throw and catch. Good timing here. Rush did not get there quick enough. Execution by Northern Arizona to keep this drive alive to start the game.
So first down at the Rattlers 22-yard line. The Wranglers running all the way as Watson had to pull down a high snap, and that probably hurt his momentum a little bit. Gave the defensive lineman a chance to track him down, and making the play was Chris Terrell.
Boy, Terrell, watch him come from the backside here. Terrell, 280 pounds. Look at him. Look at him chase him down. You got to remember, Nick Watson, he's 200 pounds. Terrell, 280 pounds, and caught him from behind. It's unbelievable the athletic ability of these big guys.
So a gain of 1 puts the ball at the 21-yard line, and the Wranglers will hand it off. First running attempt is quickly put to rest. That was Jared Ware Jr. on the carry. And the guy that made the stop, Justin Thomas, getting a start on the defensive line tonight for the Rattlers, and he is able to make, you see it right there, make that big tackle.
Coming from the other side. Again, what I always like to watch, Floyd, is Floyd Merriweather Devontae Merriweather did not get any credit for a tackle or an assist or anything on the play, but he stuffed that run play. And that allowed Thomas to come from behind and make the tackle. Floyd Merriweather. I'm old.
There's a Devontae Merriweather on the field. There's a Floyd Mayweather out there, and there's a Floyd Simmons. I can see how you got that all confused. Here's the catch on the left side. And, boy, staying on his feet, fighting inside the 5-yard line. Picking up the big first down is Ryan Wisniewski. Wisniewski able to get the ball to the 4-yard line. Gain, I've got that about 17 yards on the pickup. He just wouldn't go down.
Yeah, running through a couple shoulder tackle attempts by the Rattlers. They've taught these guys, make sure you wrap up. A lot of times just a shoulder is not going to bring a receiver down, especially somebody like Wisniewski, who's 6'3", 215 pounds.
Watson sends them in motion on the right side. Another difficult snap to handle. And the quarterback's just going to have to eat the ball at about the 7-yard line. Getting there once again is Justin Thomas, taking full advantage of his time at a starting spot today, and the ball is back to the 7. After that, he'll bring up 2nd down and goal.
Another high snap that throws the timing off. A lot of times you don't really pay attention, but the center having to block Harold Love. Harold Love can affect the game without actually making a tackle because the center is so worried about having to block him. sometimes you take your mind off the snap, and that could ruin the play.
Very worried. Here's the throw to the back of the end zone. The catch is made. Going halfway up and over that wall is Glenn Gibbons Jr. And he is able to tack the first points on tonight for the Wranglers. Boy, a great catch and a throw that was in about the only spot that the defender couldn't get to.
Gotta get on our fans a little bit. Hey, how about knocking that ball loose instead of protecting your popcorn, Floyd? I mean, you're down there enjoying it. Knock the ball loose if he comes in to your area. Watch this as the ball goes over the dasher board. Those are big men coming at you.
Hey, look at this. The drop kick is attempted, and it's going to be good. The drop kick. Hold on. Is there something about that? We'll have to look into the rules on that. See, that's worth 2 points, everybody, and that's going to make it 8-0. You got that in your bag of tricks. How about it, huh? The drop kick is good. It's 8-0 Northern Arizona in front. We'll grab a timeout and bring you back to more Arizona Rattlers football in just a moment.
With the final pick of the draft, BetRivers has selected Izzy from Illinois.
Love this pick. Izzy does her research using the BetRivers.com sportsbook app to access player and team stats before betting her multi-game, same-game parlay for a bigger payout.
She's also discovered that they have odds boosts and award-winning customer service.
That's true, Dan.
And that Jerome can eat an entire pizza by himself.
Also true.
BetRivers sportsbook app and football. It's a whole new game.
Every body is different. Some get injured, while others wear down. At Ortho Arizona, your unique condition is at the center of what we do. With over 20 locations and 70 physicians in the Valley, we offer orthopedic procedures, therapy, and athletic performance for the most important reason of all, getting you back to an active, pain-free life. Ortho Arizona, your destination for quality orthopedic care since 1994.
National Championship Football in Vegas. The Dollar Loan Center Indoor Football League National Championship. The best indoor football in the world in Vegas. August 5th at the Dollar Loan Center. The best in the country collide, and a national champion will be crowned. Tickets are on sale now. Get yours at IFLNationalChampionship.com.
Back into Arizona Rattlers football, downtown Phoenix. The Snake Pit, where it's all going down, everybody. Final regular season game of the year for both these teams. And then the playoffs begin next week. For the Rattlers, home field advantage throughout the playoffs at stake. They control their own destiny. A win gives them that. As we bring you back in, and well, Floyd Simmons here, my broadcast partner's Dale, Hella Straight Dale. We just saw something that hadn't been common since you were a young man playing football. I imagine you saw a lot of drop kicks back in your heyday, but a very unusual contribution tonight to make it 8-0. Connor Mangum, the kicker that delivered that. Here's the return by Jamal Miles out to the 17-yard line for Arizona. Maybe we could look at that again on that drop kick. Take another Nova Home Loans instant replay look back on the kick that added 2 points to it.
Well, the thing is, look how comfortable he is. I mean, you could tell that wasn't his first rodeo.
No, not at all.
He stepped up to this like he's been practicing this and knew what he was doing. And, wow, it's super talent.
Well done.
Yeah.
And so who was the last guy you literally saw convert a drop kick?
I've seen some guys, when the kicker gets injured, try something like that.
Yeah.
More in preseason game than anything.
And it usually doesn't go well,
No.
does it? No. Here's a fake. Drew Powell carries right side. And Drew is going to get a first down on his first carry from scrimmage tonight. Call that 11 yards as we take a look at the starting lineup for the Arizona Rattlers, led by that reigning IFL MVP, Drew Powell. He's your starting quarterback. And the guy who will join him in the backfield tonight is the running back, Jagger Gardner. Gardner getting a start. Isaiah Houston, Jamal Miles, Isaiah Scott, your receivers on the edge, Cole Carter, Lamar Mady, and J.J. Coleman, that steady group up front to lead the way for the Rattlers offense. And Drew wants to throw. Here comes pressure. Delivers. He's got a man wide open, and a marker is down. That may have been Jamal Miles getting impeded in his route, and it could be pass interference on the defense.
Yeah, when you see 2 flags, same spot, obviously pretty blatant foul call.
Pass interference, number 22, defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Your officials tonight, well, Austin Wright is the referee. The umpire is Jake Shoemates. The head linesman, Kevin Keyser. The line judge, Todd Evans. And the back judge is Jace Carlson. And with that pass interference call, the ball goes to the 12-yard line, first down at that spot for the Rattlers offense. So I believe the last guy to convert a drop kick in any level of professional football was at the NFL level, and that was Doug Flutie.
See, and I think that's more of a, hey, let's have a little fun, goof around kind of thing.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, even Bill Belichick can have some fun once in a while, right? But, of course, that's been a while back. And here comes Drew Powell. Tucks it and goes around the left side inside the 10. And he'll be brought down at about the 7-yard line on that play. Gain of 5 for Drew Powell.
Nice decision-making there by Drew. Nobody open. Again, we've talked about it throughout this season. Once you start getting inside the 10-yard line, the field is squeezed. You can't run by defensive backs, so they can sit on routes, make plays on the football. If you don't feel comfortable throwing the football on time, Drew Powell can tuck it and run, and he picks up 5 yards and keeps everything moving along very smoothly.
Gardner in motion. Gardner with the carry. Right side, bounces, cuts it back. He'll go well inside the 1 is where he's going to go. We'll see if it stands. There's a marker down from behind the play.
Yeah, I think they're going to get my guy Lamar Mady. Didn't let go of the defensive end.
Number 94, offense, 10-yard penalty, replay the down.
We've talked about that, Floyd, the Bags offensive lineman. They don't mind you grabbing jersey and all that. Your hands are inside, but when the defensive lineman goes to disengage, you've got to let it go. You're going to watch up there at the top of your screen. Lamar held on just a little bit too long. That draws the attention of the officials.
It was unquestionably a hold, okay?
Monday.
But
hey.
Tremont Lofton, Tremont Lofton, the defensive end on that side, did a great job selling it.
Yes. Hey, on the unquestionably a hold. Yeah, so many people who've never played offense like, oh, that's unquestionably a hold.
Here comes the fire right side from Drew Powell. Catch is made by Isaiah Scott. The stiff arm, and then the touchdown. The Rattlers are on the board.
Wow. 6'3", 230 pounds. Watch that stiff arm. Are you kidding me? What a tremendous job, obviously catching the ball, but as soon as he turns the corner, watch his stiff arm.
That is impressive. And we want to thank Nova Home Loans, our exclusive presenting replay sponsor with the Arizona Rattlers. Great look. Thank you, Nova Home Loans. Here's the point after try that is up and good from Mr. Steady himself.
Timeout on the field.
That is the kicker.
Media timeout.
That's the kicker, Mr. McInerney converting. Shane McInerney, the Irishman. And it'll be 8-7. The Wranglers still in front. We'll grab a timeout, everybody. This is Arizona Rattlers football.
Do you own your home? You may qualify for a cash-out refinance. Cash for home renovations, paying debt, or for whatever you need most. Connect with your local loan officer at Nova Home Loans today and see what you qualify for. Rates are still historically low and home values have increased, which could mean more cash to you. Don't wait. Visit NovaHomeLoans.com today to get started. Nova Home Loans. Our mission is simple. Yes.
Spooner has been revolutionizing our community's experience with physical therapy and hand therapy in the Valley since 1990. Spooner helps you move better and feel better. Through specialized rehabilitation, personalized treatment plans, and functional performance training, our therapists, athletic trainers, and strength coaches provide programming to help you achieve your movement goals in life and on the field. Our team is your team. Visit SpoonerPT.com to find one of our valley-wide locations near you.
The Barstool Sports Arizona Bowl means 100 for Tucson. Over $100 million to boost our local economy since 2015. Plus, 100% of all profits to local charities. Over $4 million. And the Bowls Heroes program gives thousands of tickets to our vets, active military, first responders, and teachers. Learn more and buy tickets to the December 30th game at thearizonabowl.com.
Back into it, everybody. Welcome back. Well, both teams have converted on their points after tries. The deal is that the Wranglers, with a drop kick, got 2 out of their try. So they lead 8-7 as we bring you back in. Arizona Rattlers football on the IFL's YouTube channel and on WTSM TV. Here's a kick midway into the end zone. That'll come back to about the 10-yard line. The little shimmy did not fool Connor Taylor one bit. Also helped there on special teams by Christopher Page. Chris Page, the newest member of this Arizona Rattlers roster, he got out there on special teams, helped make that tackle on Sheldon Augustine. And let's check in with our Sandy Charles down on the sideline.
Hey, Floyd, thanks. Yeah, the Rattlers coming off a bye. They had a bye last week. I was able to talk to Coach Guy about it because some coaches love it, some don't, and he said it's just what he needed to recharge the batteries. He and his family were able to go to South Carolina where he hit the golf course, the beach. He said it was the first time as a family in about 7 years they were able to get away in the summer. So they are recharged and pumped.
Hilton Head, South Carolina, just to...
I love it.
Just to give a little more detail on that.
Been there a few times, great golf. And you know, I talked to Coach Guy on Thursday, and usually coaches going into a bye week is when they're concerned. Because that's when players are making flight plans and where am I going? Yeah. Who am I staying with? Coming out, usually you play pretty good football because you've had a little break, you're refreshed, you're re-energized, those kind of things. And that's what it is expecting today.
And for the team, a good week of practice coming back off that bye week and for some, vacation. Here's a pass attempt. It's tipped in the air on the near side. Well, there was a lot of contact early by Jermaine Dobbs. No call. The Wranglers wanted something there, and the intended receiver, Jacob Moss, and all Jacob is the son of the head coach, Les Moss, that Wrangler football team. You know, I got a chance to talk with Coach Moss a little bit before the game as you take another Nova Home Loans instant replay look at it. Jacob, the son of the coach, Les. Well, Les is the son. His father, elder Coach Moss, I'm going to have to look his name up. He is the guy for whom the championship trophy is named in the AFL. Here is a catch made on the far side. And it's Gerard Ware who hauls it in. Bounces off one tackler, and he picks up the first down at about the 22-yard line.
I've always wondered about that dynamic as far as father coaching son. One of my son-in-laws is coaching with me at Scottsdale Christian Academy, and he's our running backs coach. And just the dynamics between everyday life and now football-wise, things can change so dramatically. Looking forward to the season and seeing how that works out.
And Les Moss, by the way, this head coach of the Wranglers, his father, Perry Moss. Perry in the AFL's Hall of Fame, and the guy, again, whom they've named that championship trophy after. Here is a pass attempt that is broken up by Dylan Winfrey. And Dylan, the ball hawk that he is, got there in time and broke up a pass intended for Glenn Gibbons.
Boy, this offensive line doing a pretty good job. Ball coming out on time. It's one of those footballs you hope that you're going to catch, and more times than not, Glenn Gibbons would come up with that football because the ball was not touched. Obviously, you see a flash in front of you, but let's see if now the Rattlers can capitalize on that drop.
Second down and 10. Wranglers, their own 22. And the wheel route on the right side is going to be into the stands. And there is a marker down on a ball that was headed for the second row. And I think the back judge is going to come up and he's going to encourage the side judge to wave off his flag, I think. They're having a conference down on the field right now.
There is no foul on the play. It's third down.
Then you can see where this ball ends up. Over the dasher boards, ruled uncatchable. And again, I've gotten on the officials at times when somebody jumps off sides or there's an illegal procedure. If it's a penalty, it's a penalty. Call it, throw the flag, let's move on. Keep it going, keep moving. But I love when there's a call like that and a guy has a better view and comes up, you have a discussion about it to make sure that you get the call right.
Uncatchable. Kind of like any given pass thrown to an offensive lineman, if I'm not mistaken. Here's a pass over the middle, but behind the receiver. Wow. And that's incomplete to Glenn Gibbons. What did I say?
Wow. I mean, I'm sitting here.
Incomplete pass.
I told you, Kevin Guy, he was on a different level tonight. He's jacked up, ready to go. You're coming with the jokes. I mean, every offensive lineman holds every play. Offensive lineman can't catch the ball. I'm here to tell you, I was a pretty good athlete back in the day, back in leather helmet day.
Hey, listen, I categorically deny at least one of those charges you levied there. That incomplete pass brings up 4th down and 10. Can the Rattlers get an early stop in this big matchup against the Wranglers? That pass behind the receiver, that is incomplete in coverage. On Glenn Gibbons was Dylan Winfrey. And that, my friends, is an Arizona Rattlers defensive stop.
Well, that's one of the things Kevin talked to me about is they had a couple stops called
timeout
back.
On the field. Media timeout.
Well, we're going to go to a timeout here with 1:03 remaining in the first quarter. And an 8-7 lead for the Wranglers. Stand by, everybody. This is Arizona Rattlers football.
If DJ Citizen Jane quit on her passion for music, she never would have left her career as a detective to pursue it. If she let starting at the bottom scare her, she never would have hustled to play bigger and bigger shows. And if she was content with being one of the best Latina artists in Miami, she wouldn't be electrifying the crowd in sold-out shows around the world. That's the fighting spirit. That's what makes a lion. Modelo, root for those with a fighting spirit.
With the next pick of the draft, Bet Rivers selects Mark from Michigan.
This is a surprise. Where sources tell me he's ready to go from same-game parlays to betting our new multi-game same-game parlay.
Where you can combine more than one same-game parlay in the same bet for bigger payouts.
Exactly, Dan. He's a fan of daily odds boost and Bet Rivers.
Bet Rivers award-winning customer service.
How'd you know?
I got sources too, Jerome. Bet Rivers Sportsbook app and football. It's a whole new game.
Hey, there's Stryker making his way around the surface out there on the field and firing up this great crowd of Arizona Rattlers fans. Another great turnout here for the final regular season game of the year for Arizona. It's the final regular season week for everybody. The playoffs begin next week. These two teams are both bound for the playoffs, Dale. The Rattlers playing for the top seed in the playoffs. The Wranglers are at least number 4. It could improve to number 3 depending on tonight and some other help that they could get. Here comes a pass after a long adventure in the backfield by Drew Powell. He is able to connect with Isaiah Scott. Nope, that's Jagger Gardner. Gardner hauling it in and showing for a running back some great hands on the sideline.
What a great job by Powell. Obviously good protection up front. Everybody was covered till the very end there. Powell moves around a little bit, buys a little extra time, gets the ball to his running back. Gardner picks up the first down as time continues to run.
Yeah, 25 seconds remain here in the first quarter. Football fans, the Rattlers are inside the 5-yard line. Give to Gardner, right side, the stretch play, and Gardner is able to escape the would-be tackler for a touchdown. Tough running touchdown on that edge for Jagger Gardner.
Watch the right side of the line. Lamar Mady getting outside, reaching, making sure he's got his hat on number 54, Lofton, the 6'3", 275-pounder. And then what is really impressive, you've got Cole Carter, who climbs up to the second level, gets his hat on a linebacker, and kind of makes it easy to get it in the end zone when you got the athletic ability that Gardner has.
And the Irishmen will line it through. The kick is good. And the Rattlers have their first lead of the game, everybody, as we close out the first quarter. Arizona 14, Northern Arizona 8. And this final regular season showdown will continue in a moment. Arizona Rattlers football continues in a bit.
Every body is different. Some get injured while others wear down. At Ortho Arizona, your unique condition is at the center of what we do. With over 20 locations and 70 physicians in the Valley, we offer orthopedic procedures, therapy, and athletic performance for the most important reason of all, getting you back to an active, pain-free life. Ortho Arizona, your destination for quality orthopedic care since 1994.
The Barstool Sports Arizona Bowl means 100 for Tucson. Over 100 million to boost our local economy since 2015. Plus, 100% of all profits to local charities. Over 4 million. And the Bowls Heroes program gives thousands of tickets to our vets, active military, first responders, and teachers. Learn more and buy tickets to the December 30th game at thearizonabowl.com.
Do you own your home? You may qualify for a cash-out refinance. Cash for home renovations, paying debt, or for whatever you need most. Connect with your local loan officer at Nova Home Loans today and see what you qualify for. Rates are still historically low and home values have increased, which could mean more cash to you. Don't wait. Visit NovaHomeLoans.com today to get started. Nova Home Loans. Our mission is simple. Yes.
Well, thank you, Nova Home Loans, presenting replay sponsors for the Arizona Rattlers. And thank you to the Arizona Sidewinders. They are right there, the best in the business. Dale Hellestray, that group of cheerleaders, they're none better in the game of indoor football.
Well, it's amazing how many tops there are in this organization. We've talked about that. Ron Schertz, the owner, expects excellence from football team to cheerleaders to employees. And as I've always said, Floyd, I play for some organizations with bad ownership, and it reflects throughout the organization. This is one of those organizations that shines, and it starts at the top with Ron Schertz. Going to touch real quick, Floyd, on the fact that this is the third time these two teams have played. And it's fascinating because if things work out a certain way, they might play again next week. Now, I've never played a team 4 times in the season. I have played teams back-to-back, and I've played teams 3 times in the season. And you get tired of seeing the same ugly face lined up across from you after 3 times, much less back-to-back weeks. It'd be fascinating to see how this works out.
Yeah, there's a strong chance these teams will meet again in a week. Here's the ball fielded 9 yards deep. And a big hit on Jacob Moss on his return. Was that Isaiah Houston that leveled him? I
think that was Jamal Miles, wasn't it?
I believe it was one of those receivers. Yeah, it was Houston kind of slowed him down a bit, and then Jamal got there. Chris Page as well, special teams play, and a thunderous one at that. That's the kind of statement play you can make on special teams that you keep that up. That has an impact on the psyche of that team on the other side over the course of a game.
Well, we've talked the last couple of weeks. What's the one thing this team can work on? It's special teams, because they've allowed a kickoff return for a touchdown, and there's not a bigger play that can change momentum than a kickoff return for a touchdown.
Nick Watson has to haul down the high snap. He fakes it, and then Connor Taylor is there to stop him with a tackle for loss, a couple of yards lost back to the 6-yard line. And listen, the Wranglers are struggling. That's, I don't know, the 3rd or 4th snap that's been a little difficult for Nick Watson to handle.
That's Anthony Barber, the center, 6'5", 305 pounds, and it's so frustrating. Again, I think you got to give credit to this Rattler defensive line. He's worried about who he's trying to block as much as the snap, and if you don't get the snap there, nothing else really matters.
Pass complete to Glenn Gibbons, and Dylan Winfrey, who has been his shadow throughout this early part of the game, makes the tackle, and then Glenn ends up, I think he's working out maybe a cramp. Boy, it'd be early in the game to get a cramp.
Well, again, you talk about, I think we both remarked, a little warm in here today.
Yes.
Well, it's a lot warm outside. The Rattlers obviously practicing outside, so you come inside. Wow, this feels really, really nice to the Rattlers.
So that's a good job by Dylan Winfrey to stay with that tackle, prevent Gibbons from getting to the open field. 3rd down and 4, pass over the middle, and there's Dylan Winfrey on the play again. That may be a pass interference call on Winfrey, who was covering the receiver Ryan Wisniewski.
It's interesting. They're pointing towards Northern Arizona.
Well, we'll see if the Nova Home Loans instant replay can tell the tale. Not really from that look.
Pass interference, number 10, offense. Half distance to the goal. Repeat the down.
Now, you do not see that call very often. Let's see if we can catch on that Nova Home Loans.
Down.
Well, I don't think any one of those angles that we got to look at is definitive.
No. A lot of times it's just best to let that play go. But there was contact. Let's see if we see it here. I just thought it was kind of awkward when you see the defender get thrown down in front of the receiver. But a big call nonetheless.
The Wranglers have gone after Dylan Winfrey a lot early. That normally, over the course of time, ends up burning you. We'll see. 3rd down after the penalty was declined, and an incomplete pass on the little slant. The guy running the route was Jared Ware, and that's behind him, incomplete from Nick Watson.
Well, you can see there's a lot of frustration on Northern Arizona's part. Offensive coordinator still screaming at the official for the interference call.
At some point, they're going to have to give up on that. Here comes the place kicking team. And this is the equivalent of a 61-yard try. Again, kicking into some very narrow uprights. So, in all likelihood, a return opportunity. Well, you got to kick it on the field of play first. That one is way, way outside the bounds. And there's a marker down near the line of scrimmage on this play. And we'll get the details.
Offside, number 99, defense, 5-yard penalty, replay, 4th down.
While we wait for that, let's throw it down to Sandy. Sandy, you had something for us.
Yeah, you mentioned Dylan Winfrey and how that might come back to bite them. Well, I did talk to him on who he looks up to when he was growing up, and he said Tyrann Mathieu because he's tenacious and relentless. And Floyd, that's exactly what you're talking about. He said he's smaller, so he feels like he can relate to them. And you're going to see that out there. He's smaller, but he's holding it down.
And all he does is just find the ball. He leads the IFL in interceptions. Mangum on. The ball moved 5 yards, and this one bumped again into the stands, right side.
Well, again, we talked, Floyd, about penalties, special teams, things like that. You can see the frustration in Kevin Guy with the first field goal. They're not even trying to make it. Don't line
Out
up
of bounds in
offside.
the air. It'll be placed at the 20-yard line. 1st and 10, Arizona.
Okay, so the ball comes out to the 20.
So basically,
timeout on the field. Media timeout.
Looks like we're going to grab a timeout, everybody. 11:25 on the clock here in the 2nd quarter. The Arizona Rattlers lead Northern Arizona 14-8. We're back with more first half football right after this.
Spooner has been revolutionizing our community's experience with physical therapy and hand therapy in the Valley since 1990. Spooner helps you move better and feel better. Through specialized rehabilitation, personalized treatment plans, and functional performance training, our therapists, athletic trainers, and strength coaches provide programming to help you achieve your movement goals in life and on the field. Our team is your team. Visit SpoonerPT.com to find one of our Valley-wide locations near you.
Bet Rivers has selected Pat from Pennsylvania.
Pat is a master of our new multi-game, same-game parlay, where you combine multiple same-game parlays in a single bet.
Bet Rivers Sportsbook app and football. It's a whole new game.
Do you own your home? You may qualify for a cash-out refinance. Cash for home renovations, paying debt, or for whatever you need most. Connect with your local loan officer at Nova Home Loans today and see what you qualify for. Rates are still historically low and home values have increased.
We are back, everybody, with 11:25 on the clock in the second quarter. Arizona 14, Northern Arizona 8. Floyd Simmons, along with my partner, Dale Hellestray, down on the sidelines for us. Sandy Charles and the quarterback taking that snap is Drew Powell. Back to throw, lots of pressure, and Drew's going to go down. A rare sack. Boy, I can't remember the last time I saw Drew sacked. That front three has given him such good protection, but not this time as Armonte Carey gets there, and you'll see it on the Nova Home Loans instant replay.
Yeah, you get a couple guys almost like a jailhouse break there. You get beat at left guard, you get beat at center, and they meet at the quarterback. Nice job there by Artis, 6'3", 250-pound defensive end, and then pressure up the middle. The thing that will always kill a pass play is pressure up the middle.
So 10-yard loss on the quarterback sack. Powell rolls, left, throws, and the catch is made. Secured a couple of yards shy by Isaiah Houston. That's a beautiful catch. And Isaiah just went with
the play,
it.
third down.
He just went with it. I thought he was going to take the Nestea plunge. You remember that?
Oh, I do.
You remember that into the first row there.
Look at the fans, though. Fans know it's Arizona Rattlers football. They don't try and break the pass up. They get out of the way. Great concentration. Always amazes me when these receivers can go up over the dasher board, concentrate on catching the football.
Great catch. It was third down and 2, but this one skips into Jamal Miles, incomplete. And it'll be fourth down. Fourth and a couple to go. You take a look at Jamal heading back to the Rattlers huddle. Jamal, listen, if the Rattlers didn't get the bye week last week, Jamal, in all likelihood, was not going to be able to suit up and play in a game last week. That extra week off helped him to heal up from an injury that he suffered just before the bye took place. From his back foot, Powell throws and connects. And that is Jamal Miles inside the 2-yard line with the catch. Gain of 20 on the play.
You're right, Floyd. We've talked about Jamal Miles, Iron Man, tough guy. Coach Guy did say if they had a play last week, he probably would have missed it. Although knowing Jamal Miles, I think he finds a way to get out there. The defensive line for this Northern Arizona team is really giving the offensive line of the Rattlers fits. There's movement, there's twists, there's spins. And it's causing them problems. Powell able to stand in there and deliver an accurate football.
First and goal, Rattlers give to Gardner left side, and Jagger Gardner has touchdown number 2 of the evening.
Watch the left side. Tremendous job. J.J. Coleman, Coach Guy talking about his growth each and every week. how he's improving his physicality, his athleticism, doing a really nice job at that left guard spot.
Point after is on the way and good again. Boy, he's just been automatic, McInerney. And the big smile on his face for the Irishman, but it's Jagger Gardner so far tonight. He's got 2 of the touchdowns for the Rattlers, and they lead by 2 scores. Let's take a timeout, everybody. Arizona 21, Northern Arizona 8. This, Arizona Rattlers football, back in a moment.
Bet Rivers has selected Izzy from Illinois.
Izzy does her research using the BetRivers.com sportsbook app to access player and team stats.
Amazing. Bet Rivers sportsbook app and football. It's a whole new game.
DJ Citizen Jane quit on her passion for music, she never would have left her career as a detective to pursue it. If she let starting at the bottom scare her, she never would have hustled to play bigger and bigger shows. And if she was content with being one of the best Latina artists in Miami, she wouldn't be electrifying the crowd in sold-out shows around the world. That's the fighting spirit. That's what makes a lion. Modelo, root for those with a fighting spirit.
So the Rattlers get a defensive stop. They convert that to points. And Arizona here in the second quarter has a 21-8 lead over Northern Arizona. Listen, the Rattlers, 7 straight wins, Dale. A lot of times a team can just run out of that emotion, that juice, that whatever it is that's fueling a winning streak like that. This Rattlers team just keeps elevating the level of play.
Again, talking with Coach Guy, and I've always compared Kevin Guy to Jimmy Johnson, the guy I played for in Dallas for 5 years. And they have so many of the same character traits and so many of the same coaching abilities. And we'll go down to Sandy now, and I'll finish the story on the other side.
Let's do that. Sandy is with, so far, the first half hero for the Rattlers, Jagger Gardner.
Floyd, thank you, Dale. Jagger, 2 touchdowns so far. What's the energy like around this team tonight?
We just want to make a statement that this is our league. We want to take over. We're going to play the best foot forward, play physical, fast, and tough. That's it.
What's the chemistry like between you and Drew Powell?
Oh, man, that's my brother. We couldn't be any closer.
Awesome. Okay. You guys. So from scoring 2 touchdowns, he's working out. Go back to the bike. We'll send it to you.
All right, Sandy, thank you. Jagger's got 2 to his credit. Here's a deep throw, and that is incomplete. Dylan Winfrey got a little hand on the back of the receiver. No call made as Jacob Moss was going deep for the Nick Watkins target. That one's going to be incomplete.
So to go back to the comparison, Jimmy Johnson, Kevin Guy, whenever we would get on a little roll in Dallas, win 3 or 4 or 5 straight games, Jimmy Johnson became tougher on us. Took care of the little things, because that step here, I talked about it in the pregame, step here, a route there, everything, he was going to be more precise because it's easy to let that stuff go when you're having success.
Here's a pass off the fingertips of the receiver on the right side. This time Wisniewski was targeted by Nick Watson. Well, Nick is having a little bit of trouble pinpointing his passes so far tonight. Several passes have just been a little bit off target.
It really makes you, as an Arizona Rattler fan, appreciate a Drew Powell, who is so stinking accurate. You see it week in and week out, and you're like, well, that's how every quarterback is. No, you got something special here.
Yeah.
If you're a Rattler fan.
And by the way, you brought him up. Drew Powell with a pass completion percentage on the season of 69, almost 69.5%, leads the IFL in completion percentage. There's another pass incomplete from Watson.
Well, again, you can see the frustration from the coaching staff. Obviously, there's a little bit, when we talk about being precise, there's something just a little bit off between Nick Watson and his receivers. You've seen balls thrown a little high, behind receivers, in front of receivers. And again, this is one of those plays, you're talking about 4th and 10. Rattlers find a way to get a stop here, and this game could get out of hand if you're a Northern Arizona fan.
Watson to throw on 4th down and 10. No flags down. That one incomplete. Dylan Winfrey in the zip code defensively, and the pass intended for Ryan Wisniewski is incomplete. And the quarterback, Nick Watson, with that incomplete pass, is 6 of 17 in the first half of this game. That is right around 34-35% pass completions. That's not going to get it done. But listen, this Rattlers defense has had that kind of effect on a number of quarterbacks this year.
It has, but if we're going to have the truth be told, Nick Watson is struggling to complete passes because receivers, you're going to have open receivers in an indoor football league. Now, 70% completion percentage from your quarterback, Drew Powell, that's ridiculous. But you got to be somewhere between 55 and 65% if you're going to have a respectable indoor football league offense.
Well, the guy that lines up at quarterback, mentioned there, Drew Powell, he's 4 of 5 early on in this game, and he will complete another one. Nope, that's dislodged from Isaiah Houston's hands on a timely hit on the near side by Tarek Miller.
Yeah, and you see Drew Powell immediately go over and talk to both receivers because this looks like a kill shot. You're setting your guy up, but actually I think a receiver, and I have a feeling it was number 2, Jamal Miles, was supposed to at least get in the way of this defensive back so he doesn't have a free run and see that contact right there.
21-8, the lead for the Rattlers here with 4 minutes. Now under 4 minutes remaining in the first half. Powell puts them in motion. There's a throw toward the end zone, double coverage there, some contact, and I believe there's going to be a penalty. And I'm not sure they saw the early one. Isaiah Houston is pointing back toward the line of scrimmage. When he was breaking off the line, I got to look at him, and he was being tugged early on that before he went into the end zone. So somewhere along the line, that's either defensive holding or interference. I think they're going to call holding. Somebody got a fistful of his jersey just a few yards off the line.
There are 2 fouls on the play, both on the defense. Illegal contact, number 23. That penalty be declined. Pass interference, number 23. That'll be enforced at the spot of the foul. Automatic, first down.
So Dale, you got the rare 2 penalties committed by the same guy on one play.
Well, what I'm always curious is if you're the official, obviously you have the flag,
The
and you have
DPI
your hat.
foul was in the end zone, therefore it would be placed at the 2-yard line. First and goal.
And you have a hat. What happens if you see a third penalty? What do you throw down next?
What garment do you take off?
Your shirt off?
Maybe you throw a shoe. Maybe you throw a shoe. I'm not sure. But there was the illegal contact. I saw it as a hold about 5 yards off the line of scrimmage on Houston, who was trying to get away. And then you saw the interference there, puts the ball at the 2. Jagger Gardner has it again, reaches across. There's an indication of a touchdown on the far side, but there is also a marker down on the near side of the field thrown by one of the side judges.
Yeah, that play was messed up from the beginning. Too many guys moving. Miscommunication by the Rattlers.
Prior to the snap, false start, 3-minute motion, offense, 5-yard penalty, replay, first down.
Well, in a league that is very generous with how many guys can go in motion, when they can go in motion, how they can go in motion.
But there is a limit.
Yeah, you can't stay at the buffet too long.
Yeah, that play looked like it was doomed from the beginning, and maybe the best thing to happen was the play being blown dead.
Want to thank Nova Home Loans. You see them on the background there, the big sign on the dasher pad there. Nova Home Loans, the exclusive replay presenting sponsors for the Arizona Rattlers. Go to NovaHomeLoans.com. Find out what they can do for you. As Drew Powell fakes it and then escapes one tackle and dives into the end zone for a touchdown.
Wow, wow, wow.
How about the jubilant fan who got the football? He had the quarterback sitting right there next to his nachos. He could have grabbed the quarterback. He opted for the football.
Look at that. My goodness. I mean, again, so much fun to be at these games. But I'm watching Drew Powell. 3 guys had a shot at him.
Yes.
3 guys had a legitimate shot at him, and they couldn't get him on the ground.
Here's the point after, and that one's good again. George Reyna, the backup quarterback, handles the holding duties and did a great job on a difficult ball to put down. Look at Drew.
I mean, as a defense, you're going, okay, we're going to take the running back away. Linebacker, quarterback, watch this right here, in the hole, one-on-one. Linebacker's going to win that 99 times out of 100, unless your quarterback is Drew Powell. Makes him miss, able to get into the end zone. Just so difficult to defend.
Drew Powell, I mean, as good as they make him at the quarterback position. And look, he's been playing since he came back off injury. He's been playing at an MVP level. I think he is, over that stretch of time, the league's MVP. In fact, I'm just going to say unequivocally, over that span of time, he's this league's MVP.
Correct.
He's engineered a long winning streak. The question is, did his absence for injury during the 5 or so games that he missed, did that cost him in terms of the body of work and the way the league is going to look at the overall picture?
Well, the thing that always mystifies me is the fact that Michael Jordan should have been the NBA MVP throughout the 90s. But people got Michael Jordan fatigue, so they'd vote for somebody else. I'm just wondering if Drew Powell, that's a convenient enough excuse to say, hey, we'll give somebody else the opportunity to win the MVP award this year.
High kickoff, fielded at the 1-yard line, a running start, but then a Jamal Miles tackle puts an end to that one, and that's, I believe, the 3rd different guy. That's Travion Banks. I think that's the 3rd different return man back there, bringing back kicks for the Wranglers. Meanwhile, Sandy's got something down there for us on Drew Powell.
Thanks, Floyd. So, like, you and Dale are talking about Drew Powell, and I just want to point out that someone once told me that the offensive line holds the keys to the Ferrari. So I want to give a little love to them, because without them, Drew couldn't do what he does. And I talked to Isaiah Scott, and he said they're working, they're communicating. It's the biggest thing for them, because them playing as one moves the whole team, not just the offense. And you're seeing that tonight.
I've got one for you, Dale. I'm not sure that the offensive linemen can fit in the Ferrari, but apparently they hold the keys to the
Yes, well, that's why you hold the keys and you hand it to Drew Powell and you go get into your SUV that you can fit in comfortably.
Hey, look at this. Pass completed to himself. Nick Watson hasn't completed a lot of passes downfield, but thanks to an assist, and I think that was Chris Terrell who got his hands on it. Thanks to that, he's able to get a completion to himself there. Now, he did lose yardage.
Well, and that's the thing. You're always wondering as a quarterback, I think you teach the quarterback, just knock the ball down.
Bat it down.
Just knock the ball down.
And don't end up with a 6-yard loss like Watson did on that play. 2nd and 16, and this pass is going to hang his receiver out to dry a little bit. No linebacker in the vicinity, so that's all right. But Sheldon Augustine unable to bring the pass down. And that's another incomplete pass to bring up 3rd down and 16. And it looks like time for the 1-minute warning, everybody.
This is the 1-minute warning.
We'll take a timeout. 28-8. Arizona leading Northern Arizona, the defending IFL champs. Stand by for more Arizona Rattlers football.
Do you own your home? You may qualify for a cash-out refinance. Cash for home renovations, paying debt, or for whatever you need most. Connect with your local loan officer at Nova Home Loans today and see what you qualify for. Rates are still historically low and home values have increased, which could mean more cash to you. Don't wait. Visit NovaHomeLoans.com today to get started. Nova Home Loans. Our mission is simple. Yes.
Every body is different. Some get injured, while others wear down. At Ortho Arizona, your unique condition is at the center of what we do. With over 20 locations and 70 physicians in the Valley, we offer orthopedic procedures, therapy, and athletic performance for the most important reason of all, getting you back to an active, pain-free life. Ortho Arizona, your destination for quality orthopedic care since 1994.
Spooner has been revolutionizing our community's experience with physical therapy and hand therapy in the Valley since 1990. Spooner helps you move better and feel better. We specialize rehabilitation, personalized treatment plans, and functional performance training. Our therapists, athletic trainers, and strength coaches provide programming to help you achieve your movement goals in life and on the field. Our team is your team. Visit SpoonerPT.com to find one of our Valley-wide locations near you.
Let's get back to it, everybody. Arizona Rattlers football. 28-8, Rattlers in front. Can they get another stop? Third down at 16. Delivery to the 20-yard line. And then that's Jacob Moss hauling it in, going into the dasher boards on the near side of the field. Connor Taylor on the tackle for the Rattlers, and that'll stop the clock with 55.6 seconds left in the first half.
Again, so interesting watching the defense. The Rattlers run one of the more difficult schemes in the indoor football league. You can only do so many things with 8 guys out there. But Kevin Guy likes to try and confuse quarterbacks. Let's see how he handles this last minute of the first half.
And by the way, it's fourth down. Here comes pressure. And it's broken up by Dylan Winfrey, but there's a marker down. The intended receiver, Ryan Wisniewski, that'll be a pass interference on the defense.
An interesting pressure right up the middle by Harold Love.
Pass interference, number 15, defense, spot foul, automatic, first down.
Well, they've been going after Dylan all night long, and this time they get the penalty.
Well, that time you buy a little extra time, and Nick Watson rolls to his right. Again, couple of these calls, if you're a Rattler fan, you don't like that. Previous pass interference call, if you're a Rattler fan, you did like it. So it seems like they're kind of evening out.
Well, a fourth down conversion thanks to a penalty. Watson throws over the middle, skips it in there. It's incomplete to the receiver. On the receiving end was Sheldon Augustine, but he's unable to haul it in.
Well, and it's interesting. Obviously not having the chance to see Nick Watson throw the football a whole lot. He's struggling tonight. I don't think there's anything else you can say about it. The ball has not been thrown accurately at all. We're talking behind, in front, above, below receivers. And a lot of times he's having time to throw the football.
Second down play, the ball at the 20-yard line of Arizona. Fake it, Watson loses it. It's on the ground, and the Rattlers have the football. The quarterback lost it himself. There's no whistle, and there is a scoop and score. Touchdown, Chris Terrell.
Officials just got together.
As a fumble recovered by the defense, advanced for a touchdown. He was not down by contact. Ruling on the field is a touchdown.
Well, you almost wonder if you're Northern Arizona, do you throw a challenge out there, just understanding that I know we're still in the first half, but this might be a nail in the coffin type of play.
Yes, nobody touched him, nobody near him at all. And was that an offensive lineman on that right side who tried to pick it up and run with it?
Yeah, you got to get on. You got to get on it. Don't try and pick it up, big fella. You're always taught that.
That's not what the paycheck is for, is it?
No.
And there's McInerney nailing it again. He's perfect on the night. 5 of 5 34.6 seconds remaining, everybody. Thanks for being here with us. Arizona Rattlers football. So the playoffs are next week. The Rattlers control their own destiny. A victory tonight, and boy, it's looking good for the Rattlers so far, isn't it? A victory tonight ensures that the Rattlers play at home not just next week. That's going to happen regardless of tonight's outcome. But they'll play at home the following week as well in the Western Conference Championship if they can win next week's first-round playoff game. So that's what the Rattlers are playing for tonight, and playing extremely well. You see Chris Terrell on the Nova Home Loans instant replay showing you a bit of what they're doing so well. If the Rattlers win, that means the Wranglers lose, and the Wranglers are guaranteed to go into the playoffs with that 4th seed. These teams will face each other again next week. The other first-round Western Conference playoff game, Bay Area will host Tucson. Tucson tonight is playing Green Bay. So that's what it's shaping up to be, but there are still plenty of other scenarios, and it's possible that the Rattlers could be hosting Tucson next week. Possible.
It's so fascinating to me because, again, the back-to-back. If this game continues on this path, you wonder if Northern Arizona just kind of shuts it down and says, you know what, we got to play them next week. Let's just get this game over with. We don't want any injuries. You just wonder how they're going to handle it because, there's flags.
Yeah, flags everywhere. Jacob Moss brought the kickback, but along the way there was several flags thrown at the 20-yard line.
Yeah, and they were thrown with
During
anger.
the return, holding number 14. Return team, half the distance of the goal from the end of the run. It's 1st and 10, Northern Arizona.
That's Kerry Starks getting called for that pile of yellow towels, those terrible towels that just got thrown all over the field out there.
And every once in a while, the officials just gently toss them, and sometimes they angrily throw them at the infraction.
An angry flag.
Yeah. Looks like we got a new quarterback here with 30 seconds left.
Yeah, the new quarterback is Garrett Kittle. Garrett is a guy who started the season as the starter for Northern Arizona, and we'll see him now for the first time tonight from the 7-yard line with pressure. Delivers a completed pass over the middle. It'll be a very, very modest gain. Getting there for the tackle was Devontae Merriweather. Sheldon Augustine hauled in the pass.
Well, if Harold Love wasn't offsides, he's got the quickest get-off that I've ever seen, but it looks like it's going to be against Northern Arizona.
The referee is having his discussion first with Kevin Guy. Now he'll talk to the umpire.
Formation. Offense number 6 lined up within 3 yards of the guard. That penalty is declined. Result of the play, 2nd down.
So the running back cannot line up within 9 feet of the guard? Is that what I'm understanding that rule to be?
Well, it seems like there's still conversation going on.
So the ball was moved half the distance, I think. The down marker is still at the original line of scrimmage.
They declined the penalty.
They did decline, didn't they? Okay, so they've moved it to what amounts to a 2-yard gain. They let them have the results of the play. Ball at the 9-yard line.
Well, interesting, both teams kind of just letting the clock run.
Yeah, 13 seconds remaining in the first half. Kittle winds up and throws on the near side. The catch is made. And Wisniewski is the guy that hauls that one in. And a very short gain, at least for a forward pass. 6 yards to the 15-yard line.
Yeah, it's just fascinating watching this Northern Arizona team. I mean, you got some physicality, you got some talent, but obviously at the quarterback position, they're undecided, and with good reason, it seems.
Third down, 2 yards. Catch made. First down yardage for Jacob Moss, but then he gathers a crowd with, well, that might leave 0.8 seconds. They're going to stop the clock to move the chains. I'm not sure that the Wranglers are going to try to run another offensive play.
Is a first down for Northern Arizona. Timeout on the field. Northern Arizona, 30-second timeout. Please reset the game clock to 2 seconds. 2 seconds.
So I was mistaken. They are going to try to run a play because they're in field goal range. And they're going to give Connor Mangum a chance to see if he can hit a 43-yarder.
It's kind of fascinating. I think everybody thought, hey, we're just going to let it run out.
Well, try to get 3, right?
Well, if I'm down 35-8, I'm trying to get 7. I'm going to take one more shot at the end zone, but.
And timeout taken by Coach Guy. Kevin Guy calls timeout.
Timeout. Arizona, their first of the half. 30 seconds in length.
He just loves that. I think he relishes calling timeout right before the ball snapped.
Is he going to use all 3 right here?
Yeah.
Is he going to ice the kicker 3 times?
No, he's going to act this time like he's going to call another time, but he won't.
Yeah. We'll see if Mangum keeps his wits about him with this one. That's, again, a 42-yard field goal try on the way to those narrow pipes. I wonder what the equivalent is. I mean, distance is one thing, but I wonder with the narrowness of those pipes, what does that end up equating to? Is that more like a 65-yard field goal?
Mm-hmm.
You know what?
You're asking a guy who went to SMU. I did graduate. I do have a diploma.
Yeah. I
did not study science enough to figure that out.
I'm going to find out what kind of vehicle you got when you were down there at SMU, because I'm sure you got something really nice to drive.
Timeout.
Wow.
Arizona.
You are being very disparaging.
Second charge timeout of the half. 30 seconds in length.
My name was not Eric Dickerson. I did not get to drive at Trans Am.
Timeout taken again down on the field.
You know, I think maybe Sandy, I mean, being, Miss California, she might have had to study that stuff. Ask her that scientific question.
You saw that.
Dale.
You saw that graphic go up on the screen, folks. That is not, obviously, July 15th is today. We don't know who the next game is yet. But Sandy, Miss California.
No. I don't know why this keeps coming up, but Dale, I am bright red.
You know, we might find a little graphic to share with the folks here.
I'd love to see that
in a little bit. Okay, let's see what happens with the 42-yard try for Connor Mangum. Will the Rattlers? Nope, they're not going to call timeout on this one. Here's the kick, and Mangum did a pretty bang-up job there, I believe. Nailed it. Yes, he did. The kick is good for Connor Mangum.
This is the end of the first half.
To round out the first half, well, Mangum has scored 5 of the Wranglers' 11 first half points. Both of those are stats that they're not great stats, let me put it that way. Meanwhile, Sandy's got Coach Guy on the field.
Thanks, Floyd. Coach, your defense has been dominant. What have you seen from them so far?
Well, we're playing aggressive, we're just getting after them up front and on the back end, pressure pick, cover sack, they got some new personnel. They're a different offense without number 1 in the game. So, it is what it is.
Let's talk about your number 1. What have you seen from Drew Powell so far?
Well, I think he's done a good job of making the right reads and just, letting the other players make plays when they take him away. So, Gardner's had a good night running the ball tonight. We've had some good routes by some of these receivers, so O-line's doing okay. I mean, we had a couple of little plays where we got to get a little better up front, but we'll get that worked out at halftime.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach. Floyd, to you.
All right, thanks, Sandy. Well, you got a lead like 35-11 going into halftime.
and he's going to walk in the halftime locker and go,
yeah,
score 0-0.
Yeah. And how many guys are going to sit there and say, wait a minute, Coach?
Yeah.
I worked in that first half for a 35-11 lead right there. And the reference, by the way, was to Ramad Jakiao Bowman, who is not available tonight for the Wranglers and definitely a difference maker. Well, grab a timeout and break it down for you on our upcoming halftime report. 35-11, the Rattlers in front. Stand by.
The Barstool Sports Arizona Bowl means 100 for Tucson. Over $100 million to boost our local economy since 2015. Plus, 100% of all profits to local charities. Over $4 million. And the Bowls Heroes program gives thousands of tickets to our vets, active military, first responders, and teachers. Learn more and buy tickets to the December 30th game at thearizonabowl.com.
This just in, with the first pick of the draft, Bet Rivers has selected Pat from Pennsylvania.
This is a great pick. Pat is a master of our new multi-game, same-game parlay, where you combine multiple same-game parlays in a single bet.
That's right, Jerome. He recently bet the point spread, total points, and player props across multiple games for an even bigger payout. Amazing.
Pat also loves fried chicken.
Yep, he's a special talent. Bet Rivers Sportsbook app and football. It's a whole new game.
Every body is different. Some get injured while others wear down. At Ortho Arizona, your unique condition is at the center of what we do. With over 20 locations and 70 physicians in the Valley, we offer orthopedic procedures, therapy, and athletic performance for the most important reason of all, getting you back to an active, pain-free life. Ortho Arizona, your destination for quality orthopedic care since 1994.
We at the IFL and our teams have always been involved in supporting the communities that support us. We have been honored to be able to help raise funds for local charities and schools. We've had opportunities to rightfully honor the first responders, the military, teachers, and other heroes of our communities. Our primary focus has been and will continue to be the youth in our local schools and programs. Our players have worked with them on the field of play, read with them in the classroom, and simply spent time with them as friends. We will continue these efforts, but feel it's time to bring nutrition into the fold. Build Your Base is the perfect partner for this edition. For the past 5 years, the Build Your Base program has been educating and empowering youth, high school, and college athletes to leverage the power of nutrition to support good health and athletic performance. Build Your Base will help us include a nutrition-based message into our time with local youth. We'll hold game time events in multiple communities throughout the 2023 season. Events will feature players visiting with local youth to play, visit, and have fun, all while teaching them about food, exercise, and nutrition. In 2023, look for game time events near you, as well as shared information about good health, good food, and good fun. Build Your Base will not just be the IFL's partner. Build Your Base will be our partner in our communities.
Hey, they're having fun at the Footprint Center, the Snake Pit, everybody, downtown Phoenix, our location for Arizona Rattlers football and this big end of regular season matchup between the defending IFL champions, the Arizona Wranglers. They've come in, Northern Arizona Wranglers come in to take on the Arizona Rattlers. Hi, everybody. Floyd Simmons, Dale Hellestray, and a 35-11 lead here at halftime for the Rattlers. Dale, the Rattlers haven't needed to do a lot in this one. When you look at the numbers, Drew Powell, I believe, is 4 of 6 throwing the ball. You know, sub 100 yards passing in the first half so far. Jagger Gardner has done well. 2 carries, both for touchdowns, but only 6 yards. Just great. The Rattlers haven't needed to do a lot. They got a defensive stop. They got a scoop and score touchdown by Chris Terrell. The main thing they've done is develop a 24-point halftime lead.
They have, and they've dominated. And again, Coach Guy is going to throw things out like they're missing number 1. And yes, he's a great receiver. Number 1's not making a whole lot of difference tonight if the quarterback can't throw in the football. So again, Kevin Guy is going to be very complimentary because understand you're going to have to play against him next week, most likely.
Again, 35-11, the halftime score. And just to take a look at a couple of other things, looking through the numbers, the Rattlers have, they piled up the points. When you get a fumble recovery touchdown like they did, supplement the point total in the first half. You don't get first downs out of some of that stuff. So the Rattlers have 9 first downs, the Wranglers 6. But beyond that, I mean, it is really, Rattlers finding ways to dominate. The numbers aren't always going to tell the story of what a team like the Arizona Rattlers have done in the first half of this one. The main thing to me is this, Dale, the team looks healthy, and the team is playing very physical. Do you remember at the beginning of the season, we got about 2 of our home broadcasts into it, and the Rattlers were particularly troublesome on defense. Tackling was atrocious. This is a completely different team from that point to this point. Some personnel change, but that's not, to me, what's been the difference. The difference is the discipline factor has just really kicked in over the course of the season. And the Rattlers on defense, sure tackling. We saw a moment over the middle, a pass caught by the Wranglers in the first half, and almost a missed tackle by Dylan Winfrey. And yet he was able to stay with it, wrap up the legs, make a tackle in the middle of the field, keep it to a minimal gain. This defense is playing extremely well.
Well, it is, and they've had to make changes, too. Remember, they're on their 3rd linebacker, and they continue to improve that position. Defensive back-wise, they're going to be at the top of the league each and every year. It's the physicality that they're playing with. One thing to remember about the Indoor Football League wants to make it difficult on you as a franchise. They want young guys, so it's hard to keep continuity and all those things. And sometimes it takes a little bit of time to gel, and Coach Guy and his staff have done a great job of gelling as the season goes along.
They have risen to a position they're familiar with, and that is one of the favorites to win the IFL this year. They're certainly going to be one of the favorites to come out of the Western Conference. There's work to be done. There's no doubt about that. The playoffs will begin next week. The Rattlers, right now, the way things are going, the Rattlers look like another date with Northern Arizona next week right here. If they can win that game, they'll play either Bay Area or Tucson. If it's Tucson, the game happens in Phoenix. If it's Bay Area, the game only happens in Phoenix if the Rattlers win tonight and Bay Area doesn't win tonight. But I think both teams stand a strong chance of coming through on this one here and finishing with victories.
Well, let me tell you this. If the Rattlers don't win tonight, you're doing the post-game stuff by yourself. I'm leaving. You go and have fun with Kevin Guy and do all your business, and I'll see you next week.
Well, I'm going to go with the Rattlers better pull through tonight, okay? And so far it's looking very good. Obviously, you can see that, folks. There's this as well. There might be a little bit of a presentation for Coach Guy at the end of the game if the Rattlers pull through and get the victory tonight, because a victory tonight would be win number 250 in the long and illustrious career of Kevin Guy. Win number 250. I've got a number here that says that the guy in front of him, and I believe this is all-time wins in indoor football. The guy in front of him, Curtis Riggs, the great Sioux Falls Storm coach, who is hanging up his IFL whistle at the end of this season. He's not going to coach any longer in the league. Maybe he comes back later, but he is calling it quits at the end of the season. We'll talk more about all of that, but Curtis Riggs is just a few games ahead of Kevin Guy. And Kevin Guy looks like he's got a lot of time in front of him in his indoor football days here in Arizona. Another great team this season. Stand by, it's 35-11 here at halftime. The Rattlers in front of the Wranglers. We'll be back with more of our halftime breakdown here. Arizona Rattlers football.
Do you own your home? You may qualify for a cash-out refinance. Cash for home renovations, paying debt, or for whatever you need most. Connect with your local loan officer at Nova Home Loans today and see what you qualify for. Rates are still historically low and home values have increased, which could mean more cash to you. Don't wait. Visit NovaHomeLoans.com today to get started. Nova Home Loans. Our mission is simple. Yes.
If DJ Citizen Jane quit on her passion for music, she never would have left her career as a detective to pursue it. If she let starting at the bottom scare her, she never would have hustled to play bigger and bigger shows. And if she was content with being one of the best Latina artists in Miami, she wouldn't be electrifying the crowd in sold-out shows around the world. That's the fighting spirit That's what makes a lion. Modelo, brewed for those with a fighting spirit.
We at the IFL and our teams have always been involved in supporting the communities that support us. We have been honored to be able to help raise funds for local charities and schools. We've had opportunities to rightfully honor the first responders, the military, teachers, and other heroes of our communities. Our primary focus has been and will continue to be the youth in our local schools and programs. Our players have worked with them on the field of play, read with them in the classroom, and simply spent time with them as friends. We will continue these efforts, but feel it's time to bring nutrition into the fold. Build Your Base is the perfect partner for this edition. For the past 5 years, the Build Your Base program has been educating and empowering youth, high school, and college athletes to leverage the power of nutrition to support good health and athletic performance. Build Your Base will help us include a nutrition-based message into our time with local youth. We'll hold game time events in multiple communities throughout the 2023 season. Events will feature players visiting with local youth to play, visit, and have fun, all while teaching them about food, exercise, and nutrition. In 2023, look for game time events near you, as well as shared information about good health, good food, and good fun. Build Your Base will not just be the IFL's partner. Build Your Base will be our partner in our communities.
Do you own your home? You may qualify for a cash-out refinance. Cash for home renovations, paying debt, or for whatever you need most. Connect with your local loan officer at Nova Home Loans today and see what you qualify for. Rates are still historically low and home values have increased, which could mean more cash to you. Don't wait. Visit NovaHomeLoans.com today to get started. Nova Home Loans. Our mission is simple. Yes.
With the next pick of the draft, BetRivers selects Mark from Michigan.
This is a surprise. But sources tell me he's ready to go from same-game parlays to betting our new multi-game same-game parlay.
Where you can combine more than one same-game parlay in the same bet for bigger payouts.
Exactly, Dan. He's a fan of daily odds boost and BetRivers.
BetRivers award-winning customer service.
How'd you know?
I got sources too, Jerome. BetRivers Sportsbook app and football. It's a whole new game.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us for Arizona Rattlers football. And I do want to remind you of a couple of things. We'll talk for a moment here, in a moment, about we're going to talk about the upcoming activity for the Rattlers as far as the playoffs go. What's going to be going on. I want to mention this as well, that if you're watching the Rattlers right now on YouTube, on the IFL's YouTube channel, you can become a Plus member at WTSMTV.com. It's your access to the best pre- and post-game show in the IFL. Stay tuned right after Dale and I. And after you hear the Coach Guy and player interviews, well, stay tuned to hear Coach Guy and player interviews live on WTSMTV.com. That'll be on their post-game presentation. But here with a 35-11 halftime lead, the Rattlers in front of the Wranglers. Everybody there. These teams playing for a third time here in the regular season. The Rattlers have won the first two. And with the Rattlers' victory, that ensures that no matter what happens in the Tucson game and no matter what happens in the Bay Area game, it ensures that the Rattlers and the Wranglers will play again a week from tonight, next Saturday, right here at the Footprint Center, downtown Phoenix. Make sure you get your tickets. Get those tickets for a 6:05 kickoff in the first round of the Western Conference playoffs. The Rattlers, with a win, ensure that they are the Western Conference #1 seed. If they lose, they're going to have to count on Bay Area to lose to be able to still maintain the top spot, the number 1 seed. And there are some scenarios, but those scenarios, Dale, boil down to this. The Rattlers, with the win, they play at home against the Wranglers next week. If the Rattlers were to lose, and Tucson is to lose tonight, by the way, Tucson leads 21-10 at the close of the first half of their game against Green Bay. If that scenario happens, then the Rattlers could play Tucson in the first round of the playoffs. Does this all come together for you and make sense?
It all comes fully together for me, Floyd. If we were talking before the game started, it's halftime. It's 35-11. If the Rattlers lose this game, just shut it down. And they're not going to lose this game. They've been so dominant. They come out here again. They're going to get the football to start this third quarter. You go down and score. My thing, if I'm Kevin Guy, try and get into his mind, how much more do I play Drew Powell? How much more do I play to? You can't sit everybody because you got a limited roster.
Right, yeah.
But how much more do I play my key guys that maybe something happens if this game gets completely out of hand, like against Massachusetts, one of my guys might get hurt, whatever. What key guys are those? And obviously Drew Powell comes to mind first.
Yeah, he's the guy at the top of that list. If you were considering others, I think on defense, you might consider Harold Love. You might consider Connor Taylor, but I just don't think either one of those guys is going to spend any time on the bench in the second half. You do have Uric Jones available on the defensive line. He doesn't play the nose tackle spot normally, but he's a guy who could fill in for somebody across the front. Meanwhile, down on the field, there's no walking boot anymore for, I'm looking at Braxton Haley out there in street clothes, but no walking boot. I wonder if it's possible he could make his way back. Let's check in with Sandy on the sideline.
Thanks, Floyd. Coach, what was your message to your team at the half?
It's about finishing. It's about going into the playoffs with momentum, and this is where we got to get better at, playing with leads.
Jagger Gardner, 2 touchdowns. How key has he been for you tonight?
Well, I don't know. I got to see the film. I'm watching what's going on in the secondary, but he's. We got after the running backs this week, and he certainly came out ready to play tonight.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach. Floyd, to you.
All right, thanks. We're going to grab a timeout, everybody. We'll be back to start the second half. More Arizona Rattlers football in that second half on the way in just a moment.
With the next pick of the draft, Bet Rivers selects Mark from Michigan.
But sources tell me he's ready to go from same-game parlays to betting our new multi-game same-game parlay.
Bet Rivers Sportsbook app and football. It's a whole new game.
If DJ Citizen Jane quit on her passion for music, she never would have left her career as a detective to pursue it. If she let starting at the bottom scare her, she never would have hustled to play bigger and bigger shows. And if she was content with being one of the best Latina artists in Miami, she wouldn't be electrifying the crowd in sold-out shows around the world. That's the fighting spirit. That's what makes a lion. Modelo, root for those with a fighting spirit.
National Championship Football in Vegas. The Dollar Loan Center Indoor Football League National Championship. The best indoor football in the world in Vegas. August 5th at the Dollar Loan Center. The best in the country collide, and a national champion will be crowned. Tickets are on sale now. Get yours at IFLNationalChampionship.com.
Another great crowd tonight here in downtown Phoenix. Triple digits outside. And for Rattler fans, sizzling on the inside with the Rattlers developing a 35-11 first half lead. Second half about to get underway. Floyd Simmons along with Dale Hellestray. Our sideline reporter is Sandy Charles, the one-time Miss California.
No. Just
always.
Miss California, yes.
Always.
That's like calling me a one-time Super Bowl champion. No.
You are forever
right.
more a Super Bowl champion, Dale Hellestray. 3-time.
Yes, and she is
Super Bowl
forevermore Miss California. No, you're not going to live that down, Miss Sandy.
Sandy, you're worrying about living that down?
Yeah.
I'm not. I just don't tell people about it.
Well, guess what?
Yeah, you told the wrong person.
I don't know who I told, but I don't think I told anyone, and everyone keeps bringing it up to me.
You got two blabbermouths up here in the.
I don't know what I had for breakfast this morning.
Look at this onside kick attempt as we get the second half underway, and it looks like the Wranglers are going to do a really good job with it. The ball went into the dasher boards, and it's recovered by the Wranglers at the 15-yard line. An auspicious start to the second half of this one. The Wranglers offense will get a chance to come out there and take away that advantage potentially the Rattlers might be able to put together and have to come out and strike first in the second half.
My goodness, I mean, that was a heck of an onside kick. Put the side spin on it. Just as many times this thing is going to bounce over the dasher board. It doesn't. Stays in the field of play. Great aggressive call. And now you got the football. See what you can do with it.
Well, that's not exactly what Coach Guy talked about when he said, finish strong. And so now it'll be up to the team, up to the defense to see if they can turn the tables. Nice pass delivered on the near sideline. And it's Nick Watson back in at quarterback, and his delivery is caught by Ryan Wisniewski for the first down. Gain of 12 on the play. Ball at the Rattlers' 23-yard line.
That might be the best pass he's thrown all night. I mean, balls came out on time, accurate. Again, you take a look at this, you've got a big deficit to try and overcome, but there is no, right now, 24-point play in football, so you got to score first. You got to score once, and then can you do it again?
Watson down the middle. Nope, that's toward the corner of the end zone, and a great catch made. Nice adjustment at the end of it. A beautifully thrown pass by Watson, and Ryan Wisniewski has the touchdown for the Wranglers. And you just watch two back-to-back great tosses made by Watson.
Two really good throws. Wisniewski with an unbelievable route. Leans into the defender and then breaks out towards the corner of the end zone and comes up with a fantastic catch.
Well, after a really rough first half for Nick Watson, that's going to help his confidence a lot as we get another look at the drop kick attempt. And it's up there and good. The kick is good. That's Connor Mangum taking us back to the old days with the drop kick. 13 minutes and 10 seconds on the clock here in the third quarter, everybody. It's 35-19. The Rattlers comfortably still in front. Back in a moment, more Arizona Rattlers football.
Do you own your home? You may qualify for a cash-out refinance. Cash for home renovations, paying debt, or for whatever you need most. Connect with your local loan officer at Nova Home Loans today and see what you qualify for. Rates are still historically low and home values have increased, which could mean more cash to you. Don't wait. Visit NovaHomeLoans.com today to get started. Nova Home Loans. Our mission is simple. Yes.
Bet Rivers has selected Pat from Pennsylvania.
Pat is a master of our new multi-game, same-game parlay, where you combine multiple same-game parlays in a single bet.
Bet Rivers Sportsbook app and football. It's a whole new game.
Hey, that's Bob down there with the bright orange gloves. And those are the same old guys in the stands who do their very best Bob impersonation. They get a chance. They're gonna bring us back to play after the media timeout there. I love it. I love Bob. I love his work. I love the guys in the stands. It's fun here. If you haven't been to an Arizona Rattlers game, you are missing out on a real treat.
What else are you doing? It's 115 degrees out.
We got air conditioning inside this place. Here's a onside kick attempt. And that one is loose, and that one is recovered by the Wranglers. And all of a sudden you have to, I'm not saying you push the panic button yet, Dale, but there's a real problem right now. And special teams has been a bit of an issue for the Rattlers. Coach Guy talked about, we asked him yesterday about maybe a facet of the game that he might be concerned about or would like to get some improvement on. He mentioned special teams right at the outset. And that's the second onside kick given up here to start the second half.
Well, and again, you got to give some credit to the kicker from Northern Arizona. I mean, he goes to the right side first time, left side second time, is putting spin on the ball. Really difficult to secure it. And so you come out, if you're Northern Arizona, you have nothing to lose here early in this third quarter.
And they get great field position. Ball at the 17-yard line. Blitz is on. Throw is made and catch is good at the end of it. That's a touchdown for the Wranglers. Sheldon Augustine hauls it in. And the complexion of this game has completely changed now. A 10-point lead where it was once 24. And that was not long ago.
No, we're not even 3 minutes into the third quarter. And again, a little better throws from the quarterback. Obviously, great execution by the kickoff team on the onside kicks. And now you wonder.
Here's the drop kick, and this attempt is going to go wide left. Well, the first two counted. This one doesn't. That's the third try. And so if you would have kicked 3 points after and made them all, that was 3 points. 2 drop kicks good. 1 missed on 3 attempts. That's 4 points. So the net is still in the Wranglers' favor. And Connor Mangum, it can't be easy to convert a drop kick. He misses that one just a little bit to the right. He hooked that one a bit. Dale.
Well, here's what I'm going to ask, or here's what I'm wondering right now as we're sitting here. If you're Coach Moss, you're back in this football game. The onside kick again? Or do you kick off and play defense? I think it's fascinating right now. Are you just saying, hey, all the momentum's on our side right now. Our kicker's got them flabbergasted over there on their hands team trying to recover these onside kicks. Do we do another one? And I'm not sure that you don't try another one because guess what? Rattlers has struggled to recover them. And usually, as they're getting called back to the huddle, you don't get called back twice to the huddle if you're just going to kick the ball off.
Or that's just, a brilliant psych move by Coach Moss.
That is true.
He's been around the game a long time. Well, we get to see exactly what they dial up right here. Rattlers ready. That's a chopper. And that's going to be tough to handle down along the sidelines. Finally picked up. The Rattlers had a little bit of trouble. That was made interesting all the way, that's for sure. And there's going to be a marker thrown or not. One guy wouldn't let it go of the other guy. That's Joshua Lanier, who was back there and ended up making the recovery for the Rattlers. They do eventually get the ball, and the offense eventually gets a chance to play here in the second half.
You've got to give Connor Mangan just a ton of credit. I mean, this is kind of a squib kick that's not an onside kick, and yet Rattlers have a hard time.
Yeah, whatever you want to call that kick, he pins the Rattlers back to their own 3-yard line. So a good start, really great start to the second half by the Wranglers. They get 2 onside kicks and turn them both into points. Along the way, they've given their quarterback a much-needed jolt of confidence. Nick Watson connecting on 2 touchdowns. This time, a connection the other direction. Isaiah Houston hauls the pass into the 19-yard line. That'll be a gain of about 27 on the play. First down.
One thing you're concerned about a little bit, pressure when you're down on your own goal line. Great job by that offensive line. Talking about J.J. Coleman, Cole Carter, Lamar Mady. Coach Guy praised Coleman this week about how he continues to grow and get better each and every week. The 6'4", 305-pound left guard, but you've got to trust your offensive line, give your quarterback time down there.
Jagger Gardner carries right side, stretched out that way, and he is knocked into the dashboard. The guy that strung it out, Tremont Lofton, makes the play defensively for the Wranglers. There's a marker down right in the middle of this whole thing. And they will mark him down maybe a football length short of the original line of scrimmage, but we're going to have to find out from the referee what the situation is.
Personal foul, illegal blindside block, number 9, offense. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot, still first down.
See it here on the replay. I'm not exactly sure what you're supposed to do there. Wasn't a vicious block. As you're going to see here, top of your screen, coming from the 18-yard line.
It was enough to alert the official and bring out a flag, and so they march this one back, 15-yard mark off. And the ball is spotted at the 16-yard line for the Rattlers.
And the other thing is, I like to watch Kevin Guy when penalties are called. You can usually kind of tell if it's legitimate or not. He did not voice a fight in that penalty call.
Back to throw, Drew Powell. Lots of time, great protection. And he finds Isaiah Houston to get a whole bunch of that yardage back. He's going to get, about 7 of it back. It was 1st and 25. It'll be 2nd and long to go, just shy of midfield for the Rattlers.
Again, it's become a very important drive for the Rattlers. After the start of this quarter, try and settle things down a little bit. You want to put together this drive and come away with 7 points.
It's interesting on that last play in pass blocking. J.J. Coleman with the block on Daquan Artis. I wonder if we could go back and look at that again. There's an incomplete pass here on the near sideline. It'll bring up 3rd down and 18 for the Rattlers. If we could go back a play, back right here, watch this block. Look at the secondary block by Coleman. Did a great job blocking on one of the, last year's premier defensive lineman, Jaquan Artis. And then he left the field. So I wonder if Artis on that, with that great job by Coleman in pass protection, who stayed on the block. They were on the ground, and as Artis was coming up, he went and he got him again. I wonder if Artis was hurt on that play, because he's not on the field anymore.
You always like the second effort, especially from your offensive lineman, bringing up 3rd down. Looks like there's a little confusion with the Rattlers.
And they have to take a timeout.
Arizona, their first of the half, 30 seconds in length.
Yeah, timeout taken there, 35-25. The Rattlers in front. And is it one of those kind of situations, Dale, that you get where you just get too comfortable? You get the big first half lead, you're playing so well, everything going your way, and then has it been a mental lapse for the Rattlers in the second half? What has it been?
See, I do not believe it's a mental lapse. I do believe human nature always kicks in. That's why every coach I know says 0-0 at halftime, no matter how big your lead is. But you got to give Northern Arizona credit. 2 unbelievable onside kicks, and they're able to recover both. If they just go one and one, it's not this close of a ball game. But not only did they recover the onside kicks, but all of a sudden you got a quarterback who's completing passes in Nick Watson. It made it look really, really easy those first 2 drives.
Thank you to Nova Home Loans, presenting replay sponsors for the Arizona Rattlers. Throw down the seam, and that's going to be off the hands of Isaiah Houston. And I believe the defender got a hand in there to break that thing up. That was pretty good nonetheless, converging on the play, and it was Justice King, the guy defensively, getting there for the Wranglers.
Yeah, what I don't want from the Rattlers is now looking at the officials to be making calls. That's a really good defensive play right there. You come in and you break up the pass. And now you're bringing in the field goal unit. If you're Northern Arizona, you're considering this a stop.
This will be a 44-yard try. Justin Thomas to snap it. George Reyna, the holder. He is the backup quarterback. And Shane McInerney, the Irishman, to kick it. He's got the leg for it, and it's right down the pipes. Right down the middle. For a timeout on the field, everybody. That kick good, makes it 38-25 Arizona in front of Northern Arizona. More Rattlers football on the way as you take another look at McInerney's 44-yard field goal.
If DJ Citizen Jane quit on her passion for music, she never would have left her career as a detective to pursue it. If she let starting at the bottom scare her, she never would have hustled to play bigger and bigger shows. And if she was content with being one of the best Latina artists in Miami, she wouldn't be electrifying the crowd in sold-out shows around the world. That's the fighting spirit. That's what makes a lion. Modelo, root for those with a fighting spirit.
Do you own your home? You may qualify for a cash-out refinance. Cash for home renovations, paying debt, or for whatever you need most. Connect with your local loan officer at Nova Home Loans today and see what you qualify for. Rates are still historically low and home values have increased, which could mean more cash to you. Don't wait. Visit NovaHomeLoans.com today to get started. Nova Home Loans. Our mission is simple. Yes.
Spooner has been revolutionizing our community's experience with physical therapy and hand therapy in the Valley since 1990. Spooner helps you move better and feel better. Through specialized rehabilitation, personalized treatment plans, and functional performance training, our therapists, athletic trainers, and strength coaches provide programming to help you achieve your movement goals in life and on the field. Our team is your team. Visit SpoonerPT.com to find one of our Valley-wide locations near you.
So we're back into it, everybody. We thank you for joining us. 38-25, the Arizona Rattlers in front of Northern Arizona. They tack the field goal on. So you were talking, Dale, about the consideration of that as a stop for the Wranglers. So give us an early assessment of the second half then with that thought in mind.
Well, you've taken advantage of two onside kicks. Your quarterback seems to have confidence again, throwing the ball a little bit better. I'm interested to see what the Rattlers, how they're going to respond defensively, because they've allowed them to score very easily.
Well, there's
the first two drives after recovering the onside kick. Very, very easy for this Northern Arizona offense. Let's see if this defense can play more like the first half.
There's a thunderous hit in coverage by Chris Page. He makes that tackle and makes a little bit of a statement as well. So that's going to set the Wranglers up at their own 15-yard line. And we'll see what Nick Watkins and company can do. They've already converted twice on second half possessions. Another high snap, and then a throw that might have been tipped at the line of scrimmage, and it does go incomplete. Justin Thomas stepping up to get stuff done. And Sandy Charles is with one of those big guys on that offensive line for the Rattlers.
Yes, thank you, Floyd. JJ, offensive line battling out there. What can you say about the chemistry tonight?
I feel like our O-line has a lot of chemistry. We got guys who can get down the field, who can pass pro. We got big athletic offensive linemen. I think we're the best O-line in the league right now. So, yeah, we got plenty of chemistry, especially Lamar, the veteran. So, yeah, he just helps us. God helps me and Cole, just guys, just helps us get through the plays, helps us mentally stay focused throughout the game. So, yeah, we got a lot of chemistry.
A lot more game. How do you put the pressure back on them?
I said we just play physical every single play. Punch them right in the mouth, just like Coach says.
Awesome. Thank you, JJ.
And down on the field, the tables may be turning as the Rattlers, they appear to have a fumble recovery, and then Coach Guy comes running into the mix with the officials because perhaps they've changed their mind. I think Chris Page getting out there and getting into some action has made a recovery after a completed pass.
Yeah, but there's a flag on the field. I think the play is going to be nullified because the Rattlers, nose tackle. See if he hits the center before the ball snapped. Awful quick. I saw a flag.
Illegal defense. Number 99, not down in his stance at the snap. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
So Coach Guy is right now asking the in-game production team to give him a look at the replay as fast as he can to see if he can challenge this thing, if it's worth challenging. We'll take another look at the Nova Home Loans instant replay. Boy, he was up slightly, wasn't he? I mean, it's hard to tell. He was certainly up a little bit quicker than his the defensive ends were.
And we're seeing the replay here in the arena, and Harold Love just tried to jump the snap just a smidge.
And Coach Guy decides he's going to go ahead and risk it. He's going to throw the challenge flag because he did get a look. They replayed it at the arena.
Arizona's challenge of the previous play.
So here's a look again.
If I'm having to guess, but I'm batting about 50% Floyd on these. I have a feeling it's not going to be overturned.
Yeah, he's going to lose that one, I think. It looks like, you see, I'm looking for movement because the left defensive end is blocking the ball. I'm looking for movement, and I don't think I'm still right there. As the arm comes up, Harold Love is up and out of his stance.
And remember, in the Indoor Football League, as a defensive lineman, your hand has to be on the ground when the ball snaps. You don't even have to be offside, but the ball is not snapped. His hand is already off the ground. This is going to be an unsuccessful challenge.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Arizona has been charged their first time out of the half and have lost their first challenge. It's second down.
See there on the scoring graphic, I wanted to just divert on to something else for a brief second. You can see that the Rattlers coming in are favored by 10.5 to win this game. Obviously, at halftime, they were way ahead of that pace, and they have given the Wranglers an open door to cover that thing. The Wranglers and the Rattlers today, the over-under, 99.5 points. And I think that one is safe. Dale, I think if you took the under on that, I think we're safe there.
There's a reason why I don't gamble on football, Floyd. Tough to win.
Here comes the blitz. Here comes the throw, and the receiver cut off his route. That's Wisniewski. Wisniewski is not happy with his quarterback. He's letting him know about it. That was clearly a read on the near side. Now Wisniewski is John a little bit with the offensive coordinator as well. That's not the kind of exchange you want going on the field, I don't think, Dale.
Well, and again, we got to remember, to me, this all starts, yes, a miscommunication between quarterback and wide receiver, but all starts with a snap. Again, another high snap to the right. You got your center who's been struggling getting the ball where it needs to go. That's Anthony Barber.
Third down and 5. And a wide open receiver out of the backfield. Catch and run down the sideline. The cutback and into the end zone. That touchdown good. Gerard Ware, the running back, slipped out of the backfield, hauled it in. Good play design. And the Rattlers defense was caught unawares on the far side. Touchdown Wranglers.
It's just fascinating to me this time where fakes like he's going to block the linebacker, doesn't block the linebacker, slips out, nobody's behind in coverage, and he's off to the races. And you're not going to make a tackle on Ware in the open field like that.
There's another kick attempt, another drop kick attempt. It's good. At least for the moment it is. There's a marker down right in front of where the kicker did his work. It's Connor Mangum, the kicker.
Hey, number 65, offense, 10-yard penalty, replay the try.
Yeah, going to have to do it again. We'll see if they have the courage to try a drop kick now from this distance.
Well, he's had plenty of distance on his drop kicks.
But it has got to be so difficult to kick it straight. Here's a good look from behind. Connor Mangum is the kicker. The drop kick is up. You know, he gets good release on it. And you know what? He nailed it. The kick is good. That's 2 more. And all of a sudden, it's a 5-point game, everybody. Arizona 38, Northern Arizona 33. This has turned into a great game. We'll be back in a moment. More third quarter action with 4:26 remaining in the period. This is Arizona Rattlers football.
Do you own your home? You may qualify for a cash-out refinance. Cash for home renovations, paying debt, or for whatever you need most. Connect with your local loan officer at Nova Home Loans today and see what you qualify for. Rates are still historically low and home values have increased, which could mean more cash to you. Don't wait. Visit NovaHomeLoans.com today to get started. Nova Home Loans. Our mission is simple. Yes.
If DJ Citizen Jane quit on her passion for music, she never would have left her career as a detective to pursue it. If she let starting at the bottom scare her, she never would have hustled to play bigger and bigger shows. And if she was content with being one of the best Latino artists in Miami, she wouldn't be electrifying the crowd in sold-out shows around the world. That's the fighting spirit. That's what makes a lion. Modelo, root for those with a fighting spirit.
The Barstool Sports Arizona Bowl means 100 for Tucson. Over $100 million to boost our local economy since 2015. Plus, 100% of all profits to local charities. Over $4 million. And the Bowls Heroes program gives thousands of tickets to our vets, active military, first responders, and teachers. Learn more and buy tickets to the December 30th game at thearizonabowl.com.
Well, the Wranglers have scored their third touchdown of the third period. And along the way, they have cut this Rattlers lead that was 24 points at halftime. They've cut it down to 5 points now here. With 4:26 on the clock in the third quarter. And along the way, Nick Watson has become a different quarterback. The overall numbers still aren't that favorable. 12 of 27 as we get a line drive in the middle. That's off of one of the Rattler players. The Wranglers say they have it, but the official says they don't. And the indication is Arizona Rattlers recovery on another version of the onside kick, right? Which is, we're going to nail it, and if it gets through that front line, it might go all the way to the goal line, and it might be difficult to scoop up and return for the deep man. But at the same time, you might hit one of those guys up front with a fastball and give yourself a chance on a carom to get the ball, and that's exactly what the Wranglers do in this situation. Very creative, and they almost get the ball.
Well, it's one of those things where you're saying, hey, get out of the way if you're, I think it's Devontae Merriweather here, and he's turning to run back. Easier said than done sometimes.
And I believe he is the guy that eventually made the recovery. So the Rattlers take over at the 12-yard line, the Wranglers 12. And Drew Powell has to escape pressure coming up the middle. Dumps it toward the front pylon. It's into the end zone. That's a Rattlers touchdown. Isaiah Houston on the receiving end.
Well, again, that's one of those plays. There's only a few guys in football who can do what Drew Powell just did right here. Buy a little extra time, chase to the dashboard. No, he's going to get hit. The official's going to get hit. Somehow, some way, he throws the football, completes the pass for a touchdown.
Well, Isaiah Houston was on his knees at the time. He had fallen to his knees, able to still make the catch and turn and work the ball across the goal line. That was terrific. You didn't get a good look on it on the initial look, and really it was that one field camera angle that we had there on the Nova Home Loans instant replay that showed it. That was well done. You saw Drew end up across the dasher board there as he took the hit.
And see, those guys, it looks like a Drew Powell there. He knows if I jump up a little bit, when I get hit, the impact's not going to be as much. If he stays down, his body, the defender's body, is going into the dasher board. Watch him jump up here. Kind of, it's still a physical impact, but not quite as much when you're above the dasher board. But to be able to do that, have the wherewithal to do that, along with going to the touchdown pass, it's tremendous.
So the score here is 45-33 with 3:03 remaining here in the third quarter. Football fans back to a 12-point advantage for the Rattlers, but now the Wranglers have made this a contestable game. And if they were holding back at all after falling behind in that first half, I can guarantee you Coach Moss is not doing that at this point. He's got a game that he can win. Here's the kick fielded at the 8-yard line. And it's Jacob Moss who gets hit, knocked down, and the tackle is made by Chris Page. How about Chris Page being newly activated on this roster? And he's going out there and he's sticking his nose right in the middle of all this.
Well, that's the way you're going to draw the coach's attention.
Holding, return team, number 4. Half the distance to the goal, 1st and 10.
And half the distance was 4 yards marked off. The ball back to the 4-yard line.
Well, let's remember, Floyd, the thing is, you see the kickoff here, and it's been tremendous kickoff coverage from the Rattlers tonight. You know they worked on it. You know it's been a point of emphasis. But the onside kick, you can live by it, you die by it. If you recover it, it gives you a chance.
Here is a problem at the mesh point. Ball on the ground. The Wranglers do scoop it up. They're going to lose more of that yardage, take them back to nearer the 2-yard line after the recovery was made on there's just a confused mesh between quarterback and running back. Gerard Ware is the guy that
Yeah, but again, Floyd, it all starts with the snap. Snaps high and right again. I've lost track of how many, and if you're going to be a center in this league, they got to count on where that ball is going to be.
How did you like the job by the defensive end by Chris Terrell on that play as you see a flag come down on a ball that ends up in the hands of Jacob Moss? He's out to the 5-yard line. There was a marker down, but that last play, Chris Terrell playing assignment football.
Big old defense, number 10, not stationary at the snap. 5-yard penalty. It's still 2nd down.
So the ball moves up. It'll be 2nd down and about 8, maybe 7.5 to go.
Well, those are the things. Again, some of the penalties here on the Rattlers, they don't seem like much. But if this was 3rd down, it's just a different complexion to the football game, and it's something that you can control. It's a pre-snap penalty, and those drive coaches crazy.
So the 2nd down play, pump fake, Watson throws. And that is a good effort by Wisniewski, but he couldn't haul that in. And in coverage is Chris Page. They go after him here early on in the possession.
Well, kind of funny if you watch the replay here, Wisniewski's wanting an interference call, and he's actually the one who's kind of bumping and grabbing there, and pretty good defense played on that snap.
Watson fortunate that he got the pass away. The pass rush was coming. Meanwhile, we approach the 1-minute mark here in the 3rd quarter. 45-33 Rattlers. And a pass caught. That's Wisniewski again targeted. And the catch is made. Chris Page drives him into the boards. And a gain on the play of 10 yards. That's a 1st down for the Wranglers.
Well, you got to like the target in Ryan Wisniewski. 6'3", 210 pounds, makes himself a big target for your quarterback. And Nick Watson stepping into throws, not overthrowing balls like he did in the first half, and just looks like a completely different quarterback, especially confidence-wise here in the second half.
Could be the final play of the third quarter. Handoff to Ware, left side, and he is going to race down the sideline. The cutback gets him inside the 10-yard line. Great run from scrimmage. Gerard Ware sets his team up into scoring position at the 7-yard line. And that should be the final play of this third quarter, everybody. We certainly hope you're having a good time, and, well, we've got a game. We got a good one going on, and Wranglers looking to try and get this one back to a one-score difference. Less than that, really. 45-33, it's the third quarter, the end of it, and the fourth quarter on the way. This is Arizona Rattlers football.
Next pick of the draft, BetRivers selects Mark from Michigan.
This is a surprise. But sources tell me he's ready to go from same-game parlays to betting our new multi-game same-game parlay.
Where you can combine more than one same-game parlay in the same bet for bigger payouts.
Exactly, Dan. He's a fan of daily odds boost and BetRivers.
BetRivers award-winning customer service.
How'd you know?
I got sources too, Jerome. BetRivers Sportsbook app and football. It's a whole new game.
Spooner has been revolutionizing our community's experience with physical therapy and hand therapy in the Valley since 1990. Spooner helps you move better and feel better. Through specialized rehabilitation, personalized treatment plans, and functional performance training, our therapists, athletic trainers, and strength coaches provide programming to help you achieve your movement goals in life and on the field. Our team is your team. Visit SpoonerPT.com to find one of our Valley-wide locations near you.
Terrific job by the Arizona Sidewinders. There's Vicky in the middle of your screen there, or she's at the left of your screen, and the greats. A job that they always do in making sure that this crowd is ready to go. Rattler Nation. And they have a lot to be concerned about here as we get the fourth quarter underway, because a 24-point halftime lead has dwindled down to 12 points. It's been cut in half by the Wranglers, and the Wranglers are knocking on the door again right here. They've got the ball at the 7-yard line of Arizona to start the second half. Floyd Simmons here along with Dale Hellestray. Our sideline reporter is Sandy Charles.
Well, that previous play, Floyd, a miscommunication on defense. You got one guy that's supposed to take the quarterback. Linebacker, I believe, on that play, Connor Taylor was responsible for the running back. Didn't get over there in time, consequently a big play.
Throw to the back of the end zone, and a great catch. No, it's dropped. Great effort, though. Boy, that was Sheldon Augustine who laid out for it, and I thought he had it for a moment. It was dislodged by that the concrete surface back there. Incomplete, but a good-looking throw from Watson.
Again, you're just seeing much more accuracy out of the throws. Got a hand in there and the concrete. I think they both combined to cause the incompletion, but if you're a Northern Arizona fan, you got to have a little hope. If your quarterback plays like he has here in the second half, you have a chance next week.
Nick Watson, he lobs it, looking for the back shoulder fade, but he threw it toward the front shoulder, and it's broken up nicely by Chris Page, who was caught in a hand fight with Wisniewski on that side. That was a great job, and I thought, with a lot of hand-to-hand combat going on, a great no call by the official right there.
Letting them play football. Wisniewski, big, strong, physical. Page doing his best to battle him. Almost came over the one-hand interception, bringing up third down.
Great look on the Nova Home Loans instant replay. Thank you to Nova Home Loans, the exclusive presenting sponsors of our replay package with the Arizona Rattlers. 45-33 our score. Rattlers trying to keep it right there. Can they? 3rd down, 7. Throw, and a great job converging on defense. Dylan Winfrey gets there to break that pass up.
It looks like there's a flag down.
Where is the? Yeah, I see the flag on the far side. So what do you think they got here?
Against the defense.
Number 20 was inside the belt, not a line. That'll be half the distance to the goal. Replay 3rd down.
Well, and again, this is one of those pre-snap penalties that will drive you crazy as a coaching staff. Hey, you get beat, you get beat. But if you can't line up correctly as a linebacker, you can't line up in the belt if you're a defensive back each and every, and that's Christopher Page again, if you can't line up pre-snap, those are the things that will really cost you a football game.
So 3rd down and goal now. The ball inside the 3-yard line. Markers all over the place. Chris Page in coverage on Wisniewski. So Chris is getting a chance to be right in the thick of things with the Rattlers on that defense. More markers. And we'll see what this does to the Wranglers' chances near the goal line.
Pass interference, number 20. Defense. Ball be placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic. 1st down.
Well, again, it's kind of unfortunate because you got pressure.
Yeah,
pressure coming right up the middle on Watson. Chances are it was going to be an incomplete pass, but you're going to see the contact.
That was a great route, wasn't it?
Yeah.
By Wisniewski.
Yeah, you can't argue that even if you're a Rattler fan. Probably didn't need to do it, but obviously you don't know if that pressure is going to get there in time.
So it brings up an automatic 1st down and goal to go at the 2-yard line. Watson following the convoy around the left side, runs into contact, and then gets brought down. He split the difference. Needed 2. He got 1 on that play. 2nd down and goal from the 1 coming up for the Wranglers.
Always got to be impressed with the way watch the Rattlers run the football here. Looks like he has a chance. Initial contact, and 2, 3, 4 black jerseys get over there to make the tackle.
Certainly looked like he was going to have a much better chance to find the end zone there, and then it closed down very quickly. Connor Taylor among those that got there. Chris Terrell put the first hit on the quarterback. High snap, brought down, and that is more great defense. Downhill all the way by that front 4 for the Rattlers. And the running back, Gerard Ware, is going to lose yardage back to the 5. He lost 4 on the play.
Just tremendous penetration by that defensive line. You got, watch here on the replay, Jones slipping the block. You got plenty of guys in the backfield. We got number 15, Dylan Winfrey, sneaking up in there.
He was coming after it the whole way.
As an offensive lineman, you hate to see little Dylan Winfrey causing havoc in your backfield.
3rd down and goal from the 5. And this one is batted, knocked down. Harold Love with the big hand on it.
Well, we've seen this happen before with the Rattlers. You see this pressure. Get a hand up. You can't get there as a defender. That's a previous play, the run. Look at the black jerseys again. You can feel the energy coming back in this football team. And then you can see the hand come up, deflect the pass, and I guess force they're going to go for a field goal here.
Here's the drop kick attempt. It's wide left, and that's the trouble with it, isn't it? That's the trouble. Kick is no good. It's wide left. Arizona 45, Northern Arizona 33. 10:36 on the clock, 4th quarter. This is Arizona Rattlers football.
With the final pick of the draft, BetRivers has selected Izzy from Illinois.
Love this pick. Izzy does her research using the BetRivers.com sportsbook app to access player and team stats before betting her multi-game, same-game parlay for a bigger payout.
She's also discovered that they have odds boosts and award-winning customer service.
That's true, Dan.
And that Jerome can eat an entire pizza by himself.
Also true.
BetRivers Sportsbook app and football. It's a whole new game.
Every body is different. Some get injured, while others wear down. At Ortho Arizona, your unique condition is at the center of what we do. With over 20 locations and 70 physicians in the Valley, we offer orthopedic procedures, therapy, and athletic performance for the most important reason of all, getting you back to an active, pain-free life. Ortho Arizona, your destination for quality orthopedic care since 1994.
National Championship Football in Vegas. The Dollar Loan Center Indoor Football League National Championship. The best indoor football in the world in Vegas. August 5th at the Dollar Loan Center. The best in the country collide, and a national champion will be crowned. Tickets are on sale now. Get yours at IFLNationalChampionship.com.
Welcome back in, football fans. Welcome back in, Rattler Nation. And a big defensive stop by Kevin Guy's defense.
Well, I told you during the break, offense goes down here and scores. That's a ball game, and that was the defensive play of the game.
Deep throw, wide open, Jamal Miles, touchdown Rattlers! A palpable swing in momentum with the defensive stop and a quick strike for the touchdown.
Again, Floyd, I don't think you can undersell the adversity this team faced earlier in the season, because they were in a little bit of a crisis mode there in the third quarter. The onside kicks, all of a sudden things just weren't going well. The way this team has responded, you saw the defense respond with a stop. And then you got the offense immediately responded.
Number 94, offense, 5-yard penalty to play the try.
And they scored the touchdown. And now all of a sudden it's, right now it's a 18-point lead, can be a 19-point lead.
Shane McInerney is on for the try. Marker is down. And somebody moved. False start.
Number 95, offense, 5-yard penalty, replay the try.
So the Rattlers will have to move it back again. And this time it's the equivalent of a 30-yard try by McInerney.
I talked about little things, Floyd. Little things when things are going good. Little things right now. I have not caught up with the Rattlers, but they can become a problem.
And that kick is going to sail through just fine for the Rattlers. Make it 52-33. That defensive stop, the combination of that and the touchdown throw from Drew Powell to Jamal Miles, that's huge. Why don't we check in with Sandy Charles and Drew Powell down on the field.
Thanks, Floyd. Okay, Drew, your defense set you up perfectly. What can you say about your defense so far tonight?
Oh, man, that was a huge stop. They got a couple bad bounces and had to start in a bad situation. But on that drive, they did a great job of coming out and getting the stop that we needed, man. All I told them, when we get the ball, we're going to score. And so they did that. They did a great job.
And then they got you back the ball. Big throw down. What can you say? How much fun are you having tonight with your offense?
Oh, man, it's a great night. It's a great night. Teams continue to play the same coverage like we don't watch film, so we're going to do the plays that work against that coverage, and they want to stay in it, so.
Awesome, Drew. Thank you. Floyd.
Well, Drew threw a perfect strike to Jamal on that that last effort, but, that's just kind of another day at the office for Drew and Jamal.
It is two obviously great players, but under a little different situation. Again, this team facing adversity, they don't blink. And again, I think you're going to look back at the end of the season, wherever it ends, and you're going to say, you know what, you're going to be thankful for the first 6 weeks and the adversity that hit this football team, because they don't blink. They don't blink now, and that's a great quality to have as a football team.
That kick fielded midway back into the end zone by Sheldon Augustine. Great coverage. Isaiah Scott, he's a receiver on the offense, and he was a great coverage man for them in special teams there to come down and make the tackle before Augustine could really get a head of steam going. That ball would be marked down at the 12-yard line. And Nick Watson back out there to run this offense for the Wranglers.
Well, again, it seems like things have kind of settled back down a little bit. And again, defense getting settled in a little bit. Let's see if they can make the Northern Arizona team work to score.
Deep throw, right side. Pass interference.
Oh.
Chris Page was, he was the target of the effort by the Wranglers again that time. Wisniewski, the receiver. That was a marker in the backfield as well.
It might be offensive pass interference. I saw the official look at him, see the number.
I'd have a hard time with that.
There are 2 fouls on the play, both by the defense. Pass interference, number 20. That penalty's declined. Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 99. That penalty's accepted. 15 yards from the previous spot. Automatic. First down.
So one way or the other, the Wranglers are going to benefit for sure on that. It was pretty well-thrown football, and Page just didn't have an idea where it was at the moment. He could have adjusted had he been able to spot the ball. And there's that penalty. On the other end, of course, you heard the roughing the passer penalty. So they'll move the ball to the Rattlers' 23-yard line. 8:45 remaining, and now back to a 19-point advantage for Arizona. And I think we can start again talking about the potential of Kevin Guy winning his 250th game as a coach, coaching in the indoor game. 250 wins is what he will tally if the Rattlers can come up with a win tonight. Watson flushed out, and he'll get driven into the boards by Devontae Merriweather. So 250 wins. I don't care how you slice it. No, we had a little bit of fun toward the beginning, but Dale, that is an amazing accomplishment for anybody. And Kevin Guy has just surrounded himself with great coaches and players, and to get to that point,
you got to look at it. They've had 13 straight seasons of 10 or more victories.
Every season he's been coaching with the Rattlers.
13 straight. That, again, right there, if that doesn't speak of excellence.
Wow, how about that catch? Wisniewski, the reach back, one-handed catch, and he goes into the end zone for the touchdown. That was a pretty special effort by a good receiver.
And with those yellow gloves, they kind of stand out a little bit. Watch him reach out. Ball's thrown behind him again. Look at this right paw come out of nowhere. And then you talk about the size of Wisniewski, 6'3", 210 pounds. He's a load to get down on the ground. Tremendous concentration. Great job with the one-handed catch.
Yeah, that's going to make the IFL's plays of the week. I can promise you that. Great job by Ryan Wisniewski. Takes it across for the touchdown. 6:52 on the clock. Counting down here in the fourth quarter. It's a 13-point game, and the Wranglers go for 2 the hard way. And that's incomplete to Wisniewski, but a marker is down. We'll see if I think that's Chris Page once again, the guy assigned to Wisniewski. He's the guy that got in the way.
Hey, number 15, defense. Half the distance to the goal. Replay the try.
So this time it's Dylan Winfrey called for the hold.
And let me tell you, Floyd, the thing that will frustrate football players more than anything is the inconsistent officiating. When you allow them to play bump, grab, push for 2 or 3 plays, and then you're going to decide to call it in important situations, as we've seen tonight, those are the things that will absolutely drive you crazy as a football player.
Another try for 2. Watson flushed out. Throw back, incomplete. Markers all over the place. And the Rattlers are acting guilty. It's the I didn't do it kind of guilty, if you know what I'm talking about.
Prior to the pass, holding, number 15, defense, half the distance to the goal, replay the try.
I just always get a little kick. The side judge, you see him down there at the 2-yard line. He's the guy calling a penalty in the middle of the field. I'm not sure how Keiser can see that. You got an official right behind you, but
I get your point, but if you look on the replay, it's a pretty legit call.
I'm just saying.
The official for sure. And the quarterback faked it, had me faked out, but not the big guy in the middle, not Connor Taylor. He lowers the boom on Watson, and that 2-point try, in spite of all the help they got with the penalties and getting the ball to the 1.5 yard line.
On the field, media timeout.
In spite of that, the Rattlers are able to rise up and get the stop on the try. It's a 13-point advantage for Arizona with 5:57 remaining in the fourth quarter. Stand by, everybody. This is Arizona Rattlers football.
Do you own your home? You may qualify for a cash-out refinance. Cash for home renovations, paying debt, or for whatever you need most. Connect with your local loan officer at Nova Home Loans today and see what you qualify for. Rates are still historically low and home values have increased, which could mean more cash to you. Don't wait. Visit NovaHomeLoans.com today to get started. Nova Home Loans. Our mission is simple. Yes.
Spooner has been revolutionizing our community's experience with physical therapy and hand therapy in the Valley since 1990. Spooner helps you move better and feel better. Through specialized rehabilitation, personalized treatment plans, and functional performance training, our therapists, athletic trainers, and strength coaches provide programming to help you achieve your movement goals in life and on the field. Our team is your team. Visit SpoonerPT.com to find one of our Valley-wide locations near you.
The Barstool Sports Arizona Bowl means 100 for Tucson. Over $100 million to boost our local economy since 2015. Plus, 100% of all profits to local charities. Over $4 million. And the Bowls Heroes program gives thousands of tickets to our vets, active military, first responders, and teachers. Learn more and buy tickets to the December 30th game at thearizonabowl.com.
Back into it, everybody, and a chance tonight for the Arizona Rattlers head coach and team president, Kevin Guy, to reach an amazing milestone. 250 victories is what awaits him if the Rattlers can pull off the victory tonight. They lead right now 52-39. 5:57 remaining in regulation. Here's a kick, fielded at the goal line. That's Jamal Miles, and a marker down as Jamal goes down at the 12-yard line. So ahead of Kevin Guy, in first place all time with indoor football victories, is Curtis Riggs.
During the return, holding, return team, number 21, half the distance to the goal. It's 1st and 10.
So Curtis Riggs is listed on the Sioux Falls Storm's website with 257 wins currently. He's got his Sioux Falls team into the playoffs. I believe they're going to grab the number 4 seed in the Eastern Conference playoffs. So a guy that has been an amazing coach in the indoor game and who is hanging it up at the end of the year. I understand that he's announced that he won't be coaching any further after this season. He's done some unbelievable things in the Indoor Football League game, in the IFL in particular. But 257 wins, Kevin Guy can pick up number 250 tonight. Here comes Drew Powell breaking out of the breaking out of the pack and getting to the 20-yard line. A gain of 14 on the play and a first down for the Arizona Rattlers.
Yeah, when the Arizona Rattlers changed from the Arena Football League into the Indoor Football League, you sit there and go, who are you going to emulate? Kevin Guy talked all the time. You see the Nova Home replay there. Kevin Guy talked all about Curtis Riggs. They studied Sioux Falls. They studied their operation. They studied their offense and their defense. And that's how they kind of learned how to adapt from arena football to the Indoor Football League. And then there was a great amount of respect between Riggs and Guy, both obviously super successful coaches. And now you got Riggs, who is hanging up. I wouldn't be surprised Kevin Guy wins another 14 games next year that Riggs says, hey, I ain't going to let you have the record. I'm coming back.
It might happen. It's certainly something that could happen. Did you know that at one time, Curtis Riggs with his Sioux Falls Storm team won 40 consecutive games, 40 consecutive wins, 11 league championships won by the Storm under the guidance of Curtis Riggs. You put him in the conversation of the all-time greats. You talk about him. That's going to be somebody was in motion early, and you see Drew Powell take a hit and go down. A little slow in getting up, but he's up. And the inside receiver in motion, he was about 3 or 4 yards past the line at the snap. So I believe.
It's going to be interesting because obviously we've talked about it. Officials give a lot of leeway on that motion. Can call offsides on almost every play. But this is
prior to the snap, false start, offense, 5-yard penalty, second down.
It's a pretty easy call. This is not I wonder if it's a half a yard offside. Miscue on the snap count. The only thing that you're worried about if you're Kevin Guy and company is Drew Powell took a hit he didn't need to have to take.
Yeah, you certainly did, and you start to think about what's the game plan from this point forward. Final 3 minutes and 45 seconds. You ought to, of course, be thinking a lot about your quarterback and how you keep him clean back there, how you make sure that he is good to go as the playoffs begin next week. Pass caught, contact on the quarterback. He got knocked down on the release, but Powell able to find Isaiah Houston for the first down. And that'll go inside the 20-yard line of the Wranglers.
Yeah, I think your mindset here, Kevin Guy, you're going to wait till that 25-second clock gets started. You're going to kind of try and slow down the game, take your time, Drew, getting out there, snap the ball, 5-6 seconds left on the play clock, and then see what Northern Arizona does. They're going to use their timeouts. They have 3 left.
In under 3 minutes remaining in the game. Handoff, Jagger Gardner. And he's able to go inside the 10-yard line. He'll be right at the line of game. That'll be a first down for the Rattlers. Hey, I want to call your attention, Rattler Nation, Rattler fans, to the Arizona Rattlers social media. Go to their Instagram or Facebook pages, and you're going to find a video there. They did a great job on this video where they do a piece with Jerry Colangelo, who started this organization way back in the day, right? And Jerry Colangelo talking about the Rattlers, talking about what went into the start of the Arena Football League. Rattlers, one of the early adopters, and his work to bring a franchise here to Arizona. It's a great piece. He talks about the history of this organization, and you know, Ron Schertz and company have done a great job to carry on the high level of the quality, the excellence that was started by Jerry Colangelo and team back in the day.
You know, the thing about Jerry Colangelo, obviously he's known as the godfather of Phoenix sports, and who knows what downtown Phoenix would look like without him.
Right.
Just a tremendous human being. And you're right, because I think that's the thing that's come about all this, is especially here in this arena. Suns have been known for excellence other than about a decade there that we'll all forget. But other than that, Suns have been a tremendous franchise. The Arizona Rattlers from day one have been a championship franchise. And again, it goes unnoticed, but the most successful franchise in Arizona history. Boy, I was just going to yell down, don't snap the ball.
Not yet. They're going to take a timeout. The 1 minute warning of this one, just 1 minute. 60 seconds remain in this one. 60 seconds away, potentially. Kevin Guy getting his 250th career victory as a coach of indoor football. It's 52-39. We'll be back to wrap things up. Arizona Rattlers football.
If DJ Citizen Jane quit on her passion for music, she never would have left her career as a detective to pursue it. If she let starting at the bottom scare her, she never would have hustled to play bigger and bigger shows. And if she was content with being one of the best Latina artists in Miami, she wouldn't be electrifying the crowd in sold-out shows around the world. That's the fighting spirit. That's what makes a lion. Modelo, root for those with a fighting spirit.
With the next pick of the draft, BetRivers selects Mark from Michigan.
This is a surprise. Well, sources tell me he's ready to go from same-game parlays to betting our new multi-game same-game parlay.
Where you can combine more than one same-game parlay in the same bet for bigger payouts.
Exactly, Dan. He's a fan of daily odds boost and BetRivers.
BetRivers award-winning customer service.
How'd you know?
I got sources too, Jerome. BetRivers Sportsbook app and football. It's a whole new game.
So there is 1 minute remaining in this one tonight, everybody. And 1 minute away from potentially crowning Kevin Guy with his 250th win as the head coach of not just the Rattlers, but previous coaching experience as well in indoor football between the Arena League and the IFL, the Indoor Football League. And the Rattlers with a roster that is as good as it gets in the IFL this year, with a great chance to make an appearance if they just keep playing the kind of football they've been playing. Last 7 games in a row that they've won. You see Jagger Gardner driven into the dasher boards on the near side. He gained a couple on the play. It'll be 4th down and goal coming up for the Rattlers.
Kind of an interesting play call there. I'm not so sure you want to get the ball out on the edge. Remember, last minute of the half and the game, you touch the dasher board, play clock stops. Although now it looks like they're charging the Wranglers with a timeout.
Well, is that because a player got hurt to stop play but is trying to stay on the field?
Well, it looks like the officials are talking right now.
They're going to sort it out. Kevin Guy already is the all-time winningest Arizona Rattlers head coach. Not all of his 249 victories have come with the Rattlers, but he is their all-time winningest coach.
And the game clock did not start on time at the start of the snap. 3 seconds should have come off the clock. Please set the game clock to 57 seconds. 5-7.
Hey, that's one of the rare moments where the hometown clock operator actually got it wrong.
Yes,
against their own team.
As the hometown clock operator, you always make them, when you have the lead, make them put more time back on the clock.
Right. Kevin Guy not only has the most all-time wins as head coach of this franchise, but he also has the highest winning percentage ever. As that kick is up and good. Field goal try successful for Shane McInerney. Make it 55-39. Rattlers in front by that 16 points with just 53.8 seconds remaining. 2 timeouts left for the Wranglers. 1 timeout remaining for Arizona.
You know, the thing about McInerney that I've noticed, got a super strong leg. And again, I always look at kicking like golf. And the longer your backswing, the more apt you are to not get the club face square at impact. I won't talk about your golf game. I'll talk about my golf game. But the shorter my swing, the more chances I have of hitting the ball exactly where I want to hit it. And I've noticed that on extra points, short field goals, he does not raise his foot very high, and he doesn't need to because he's got strength and power. And boom, he has become so much more accurate with a short backswing of his right leg, and it's fun to watch.
Hey, since you brought up golf, I got to ask you a question. I got a text message from you where you said that I guess yesterday you went out golfing in the triple-digit heat. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, because you don't invite me up north to golf.
Oh, my goodness, our conditions are unbelievable. You come on up. Come on up. Okay, I'll take you to my favorite golfing grounds.
Don't invite me unless you mean it.
But you said 80. You shot an 81, and then earlier before the game you reported an 86. I don't know what's going on here, but you've given me conflicting information. As we watch the Wranglers field it at the 5, and that'll be a stop at about the 16-yard line, short return. And with 48.9 seconds left, the Wranglers are going to have it right there. You're just giving me conflicting information is all I'm trying to tell you.
You got to remember, I just turned 61. I've learned from the best. You know, your cohort, our sideline person, Sandy, who, when I first met her, gave me some age. I met her again, and we asked her, how old are you? She said, well, what did I tell you the first time?
Oh, my gosh.
And I said, I don't remember. That's the great thing about me. I'm a great secret keeper.
Dale. Okay, I can just blame my agent. He taught me that at a very young age. I blame him.
Okay.
So
I actually shot 86.
So the story can change.
Yes.
And as broadcasters, it will change.
Yeah, oh, of course.
Here's the handoff, the right side, and more good downhill defense by the Rattlers. Gerard Ware, as the Rattlers start to put a great punctuation and a great exclamation points on this one here. 30 seconds remaining, 55-39. It's not over yet, but we are awful close. And with a running play in that situation, I kind of feel like Les Moss is saying, with utter respect to Kevin Guy,
we'll see you next week.
Yes, he's saying we'll see you next week.
Yeah.
And he is giving Kevin Guy this moment right here. They got to snap it. No, they don't, actually. They're going to run it, which is a concession. There's the conceding of the victory to the Rattlers, and Kevin Guy has just won his 250th career game as an indoor football head coach. That graphic you see on the screen right there, that's a little preview. You'll get to see that on the Arizona Rattlers social media pages. 250 career wins for that guy right there, Kevin Guy. What a moment.
And again, this game had everything. Looked like it would be a blowout. Total domination by the Rattlers first half. Come out second half. You knew Northern Arizona wasn't going to go away. They come out, couple onside kicks, bang, bang. Now all of a sudden it's a football game. Rattlers close it off to finish this game and do everything that they would have hoped when the season first started.
All right, Sandy Charles has the man of the moment.
Coach, how were you able to finish this one off tonight?
Well, I promise you I'm going to have their attention come tomorrow, okay? We didn't play very well in the third quarter. We turned it up a little bit in the fourth quarter, but it's playoff time now, so none of these games matter. It's a new season.
What can you use from tonight as momentum for playoffs next week?
Well, I thought we played decent on defense. There's a lot of penalties. We gave up 2 onside kicks. That will get addressed, both of them, starting tomorrow morning. But, we won. We wanted home field advantage. That's what we were working for. And now it's about winning a championship.
And, Coach, 250th win. The team would like to present you with a ball and a helmet.
Oh,
Oh, thank you, guys. Coach Guy, congratulations from the Rattlers organization, your coaches, your players, and also the fans on your 250th win. Congratulations.
Coach, what did it take? What did it take to get your 250th win?
Well, I got a lot of good people around me. It starts with ownership, starts with our coaching staff and players, and they got to get it done on the field, obviously, with execution. So, and we got a great fan base here, man. So I've been in a lot of good places over the years, really enjoyed it. My family's been very supportive. So, this is just 250. I plan on coaching another 10 or 15 years. So I appreciate it, but our focus is really on winning a championship. And if you want to be honest with you, I'm not worried about the 250 wins. I'm worried about those 80 losses I have, because we about 80% of them we could have won.
Coach, thank you so much. Congrats. Floyd, we'll send it to you.
Kevin Guy has just picked up his 250th win. The Arizona Rattlers have just secured home field advantage through the playoffs that start next Saturday. The Rattlers will be at home to face, once again, the Northern Arizona Wranglers. So the Wranglers are coming back for a fourth time this season. 3 of those will have been right here at the Snake Pit. And listen, I got to tell you, there was a several moments of brilliance for Northern Arizona to start the second half. The 2 onside kick recoveries they got, converted those immediately into touchdowns. They scored again early on in that second half, a 3rd touchdown very quickly. They got this down to a 5-point game at one point from a 24-point deficit at halftime, Dale. And I got to tell you, if I'm the Wranglers, I got to walk out of this game, even though they lost, and they lost by 2 touchdowns. I've got to believe that Coach Moss is going to have them believing next week, just like they believed last year in the Western Conference Championship game.
Well, as I look at it, again, number one, and I'll learn how to pronounce his name by next week, but Bowman, the last name, and that's all I heard from Kevin Guy all week. Wide receiver, dynamic playmaker. How much of a difference does he make? It's not going to make that much of a difference if their quarterbacks can't get him the ball. Tremendous second half. And Floyd, real quick, it gives you, as the coaching staff, an opportunity to get this team hyper-focused because they did not play a perfect game. We got a lot of things to work on. We'll be on you tomorrow and Monday as we go forward.
Ramad Junkie Al Bowman.
Good. I'll let you say that next week.
RJB, right?
Yes, that's what I'm going with.
All right, stand by, everybody. We're going to take a timeout. We'll wrap up our post-game comments on this big win for the Rattlers. Their 8th victory in a row. They are going into the playoffs, the number 1 seed. They've got home field advantage in the Western Conference playoffs coming up. Stand by for our wrap-up right after this.
With the next pick of the draft, Bet Rivers selects Mark from Michigan.
This is a surprise. Where sources tell me he's ready to go from same-game parlays to betting our new multi-game same-game parlay.
Where you can combine more than one same-game parlay in the same bet for bigger payouts.
Exactly, Dan. He's a fan of daily odds boost and Bet Rivers.
Bet Rivers award-winning customer service.
How'd you know?
I got sources too, Jerome. Bet Rivers Sportsbook app and football. It's a whole new game.
We at the IFL and our teams have always been involved in supporting the communities that support us. We have been honored to be able to help raise funds for local charities and schools. We've had opportunities to rightfully honor the first responders, the military, teachers, and other heroes of our communities. Our primary focus has been and will continue to be the youth in our local schools and programs. Our players have worked with them on the field of play, read with them in the classroom, and simply spent time with them as friends. We will continue these efforts, but feel it's time to bring nutrition into the fold. Build Your Base is the perfect partner for this edition. For the past 5 years, The Build Your Base program has been educating and empowering youth, high school, and college athletes to leverage the power of nutrition to support good health and athletic performance. Build Your Base will help us include a nutrition-based message into our time with local youth. We'll hold game time events in multiple communities throughout the 2023 season. Events will feature players visiting with local youth to play, visit, and have fun, all while teaching them about food, exercise, and nutrition. In 2023, look for game time events near you, as well as shared information about good health, good food, and good fun. Build Your Base will not just be the IFL's partner. Build Your Base will be our partner in our communities.
Well, the Arizona Rattlers come up with a 55-39 victory on the final regular season game of the year for them. They'll go into the playoffs as the number 1 seed in the Western Conference. Next week, they're going to host, once again, this very Northern Arizona Wranglers football team. And that's a good team. It's a quality team. You saw a great example of that in the way they came out and battled at the start of the third quarter. The 2 onside kick recoveries by the Wranglers. They punched those in very quickly, turned them into touchdowns. They scored again very quickly after that. They got this game down to a 5-point difference at one point. Dale Hellestray. And they also have a lot of other things working in their favor. Coach Moss, Les Moss, is going to tell his team all about last year's Western Conference Championship game. If I'm not mistaken, it was a 53-52 win, something like that. High-scoring, nail-biting, close game, and a big upset win last year in the conference championship for the Wranglers over the Rattlers. And you can bet there's going to be a lot of talk about that this week, with the Wranglers preparing to come right back to Phoenix.
It's going to be so fascinating because, as I told you during the broadcast, I played against a team 3 times in a year, and it's hard to beat a team 3 times in a year, much less 4 times a year. Back-to-backs are so wacky in football. You never know how that's going to be, how people are going to respond to that, especially your players. I just think the way, as I told you when we were talking during the break, I think the way this game played out, that if the Rattlers would have blown them out, so 60-20, it'd be really hard for the Rattlers coaching staff to get their team's attention. The way that it played out, I think, plays into the Rattlers' hands. They will have this team hyper-focused like they did in the first half of tonight's game. And then in Northern Arizona, again, how much is the wide receiver going to make a difference? The quarterback's got to get him the ball. I think it's be fascinating. The one thing I talked to Coach Guy earlier this week, he said, here's what happens to me when I'm coaching against the same team 3 times. Now we're talking 4 times. Do I change things? And I asked him, well, are you the better team? So I believe I'm the better team. Well, and I say, well, then why are you going to change things? Make them beat you. Because you can sometimes, as a coach, start to outthink yourself. Well, okay, so they're going to adjust to this, so I'm going to adjust to that. And sometimes you don't need to go through all those mental gymnastics. It's going to be a fun week, a fascinating week.
I'm not going to run you through a lot of the statistical breakdown on this, okay? I am going to say this. This is interesting because Coach Guy was talking to us yesterday about what the Wranglers did against the Massachusetts Pirates. One of the things that helped them get that win was ball control, right? They ran a number of more offensive plays than the Pirates did, and that was a great win, a great signature victory for the Wranglers at home against the Pirates last week. But how about this one tonight? The Rattlers get a victory, and they outscore their opponent 55-39. They only ran 24 offensive plays, 15 pass plays, 9 running plays. That's it for the Rattlers in this one tonight. On the other side, the Wranglers, they had a few more. They threw the ball 36 times, and then they ran the ball 13 times. That's 49 offensive plays. It's twice the number of offensive plays that the Rattlers had tonight.
Well, and again, I think that's probably the Wranglers' game plan. We know we're not as explosive as the Rattlers. Let's slow this game down. Let's try to keep the ball away from their offense as much as we can. And in the third quarter, they got, as you said, got down to a 5-point lead. And so it's going to be fascinating to see how these two teams adjust next week.
And we'll be back next week to the Snake Pit right here downtown Phoenix for the opening round of the playoffs. The number 1 seed in the Western Conference, the Arizona Rattlers, will host, once again, the Northern Arizona Wranglers. The playoffs begin next week. Can't wait for it. Dale, great job tonight. We'll see you next week.
Can't wait. Playoffs.
Want to thank our great production team led by our producer and technical director, Derek Simmons. Our director tonight, Bob Hammond. Also want to say a big thank you to some great crew members like Andre Stevens and Jim Hartman and Chris. Yeah, Chris Peterson, of course. Want to thank my broadcast partner, Dale Hellestray, along with Sandy Charles, and our entire crew, folks. Floyd Simmons saying, God bless you. We'll see you next week for more Arizona Rattlers football.